Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tales of Vesperia with Chaos Counseling. Yeah, I'm really hoping that today things go better, and by go better I mean the stream doesn't start failing less than an hour in, because if that happens again, I'm not 100% sure what that's going to mean for the channel as a whole. Just since, I mean, we've never had such severe issues with the streaming like that, and not much has changed. We still have the same internet we've been using for years. I mean, maybe what we'll need, I mean, it's possible people are leeching off our internet. Maybe that's the problem. But hey, Valentine. Oh, hold on. I wonder, was it just this game, or is it happening with other streams? It happened, with one of my edgelord streams. Also, hello, Val. How you doing? So and unfortunately with that one, I actually didn't realize it was happening until, like, the stream was, like, a couple minutes behind. So that one ends up just, like, if you go back and rewatch that particular stream, it just stops randomly. Because I just walked right into that one. Okay.
This looks easy.
I'm currently sick from a horrible allergy. Look back mode. Unlike yesterday, I'm actually taking it easy today. That's good. Yeah, I was originally planning on doing a stream yesterday, since yesterday was a local holiday, but I was actually able to sleep for a proper 8 hours, which I haven't done in months, combined with the fact that my DVD copy of, or my Blu-ray copy of Death of a Unicorn arrived, and I wanted to watch that, and then just didn't end up having time. And so yeah, and then I just did stuff with my family, so that's why there was no stream yesterday. But oh well. Wait, is that not the exit? Sorry, I'm only assuming this is where I need to go to find Judith, because they said it was somewhere. Oh wait, wait a second. Sleeping and movies are more important than streaming. Yeah, you're not wrong. I do think I'm actually in the wrong spot, because I just remembered, wait, Judith said she lived in the mountains north of the Sands of Kagor. Meaning, I think she's actually on the northern continent, which means I think I just wasted everyone's time coming here. Because, again, I've only beaten this game once, I got somewhat, like, Abby and I almost got pretty far in this game twice, but we never beat it because, don't get me wrong, while Abby didn't completely agree with all of my criticisms that I had, I mean, heck, playing through this again, I mean, even playing it through again with Abby has made me realize that some of my initial criticisms were unfounded.
Prepare to meet your doom.
But the game's story kind of sucks. At least it does in the latter half of the game. So Abby kind of rage quit the game both times as well. Because, like, we tried playing through the game together on the Xbox. Well, actually, no. Abby didn't rage quit the first time. It was my hard drive fried when we were playing through it on the Xbox. And it was one of those that she wasn't liking it enough. And I think at that point, the remake, which I'm currently playing, was announced. So she's like, let's just wait till the remake comes out before we attempt this game again. Yeah, I'm 90% sure that's, yeah. So, I don't completely remember, yeah, just how things pan out in this game. Let's see. I usually get interested in these Tales streams because the characters are fun and make me curious, and I feel nothing at this group. See, this group, I want to be clear, they have really great chemistry off of each other, but just because they have good chemistry off each other doesn't mean they're good characters as a whole. That just means they bounce off each other pretty well. Honestly, of the characters in the group, Estelle, well, even then, Estelle's not a great character. It's just she and Rita, like, I don't care if the game is written to be very clear that she has feelings for Flynn. This is Estelle, by the way. The game is written to be very much that she has feelings for Yuri and Flynn. Flynn's not presently in the party. But I'm sorry, she has way better romantic chemistry with Rita, so I don't want her to be with either Flynn or Yuri because neither one of them are great characters. Yuri's a sanctimonious dick, and Flynn, while trying his best, does... I have said a few times in this stream, the most frustrating part of this game is the fact that its premise is so goddamn good. Because it's the whole idea of pitting Yuri and Flynn's ideologies against each other. Like, childhood best friends, Flynn, who's like, yes, I hate our government, but I've got to play the government. It's like, but in order to change it, I've got to become commander of the Knights. And to do that, I've got to occasionally do some stuff I don't want to do. While Yuri's like, no, you should never allow any injustice to happen. Again, it's an interesting dynamic because especially at the beginning, sure, Yuri's not letting the Knights push him around, but as Flynn pointed out, he accomplished nothing by just walking away and basically bitching and moaning. And I wish the game properly stuck through with that because it doesn't, because it kind of gets dropped in favor of an end of the world plot. This fascinating dynamic doesn't get explored properly, and it just results in Yuri and, like, I like Flynn better than I like Yuri as a whole, but what this game could have been, a very fun and interesting character study, just becomes, yep, gotta save the world again. It's the Tales game to stop being a coward and let the gate. Yeah. Again, this game in particular, it came out in 2006. So this was even still while BioWare was still kind of dipping their toes in the LGBTQ crowd, since, and I use BioWare as an example since they've always been one of the most gung-ho about being inclusive. So I feel this game in particular does... It's like, I'm willing to give it a little bit of a pass for not including it, just since that was, yeah, even the, like I said, even like BioWare, who was the forefront of inclusion, was still having to get clever with it. Yeah, but even Tales of Arise sticks with the header. I mean, yeah, but I think, again, part of the problem is just the perceived audience that the Tales series is for. I'm not saying that this justifies it or anything like that. And this mindset of, oh, having inclusive relationships makes it not kid-friendly anymore is complete bullshit. But let's be real, the corporate suits are going to be like, oh, if we include that, then it can't be sold in certain countries to kids, so we're not going to include it, which, again, it's bullshit. I am not defending that, but it is unfortunately something that, since, again, the Tales series is often, I describe it, again, as like kids' first JRPG. So, unfortunately, the corporate suits are going to be like, what's the most widely acceptable for kids in all regions? And because people are fucking bigoted assholes, I find it hilarious because most of the audience I see for the Tales games is either gay or trans or both. Honestly, this kind of reminds me of issues that DC Comics has, or at least had in the early 2010s. I mean, honestly, I think it's a problem that comic books have in general, is this inability to actually recognize who their audience is. Because, like, just as an example, like, what I'm talking about is DC Comics, around the time that they were launching the New 52, or after they launched the New 52, which was the 2011 reboot of their comic books, they sent a poll out to a lot of big comic book stores across the country because they wanted to get opinions from their audiences. But the problem but the problem that a lot of, like, adult comic book fans, you know, who actually, because at this point, adults are, like, the majority of people who still actually read DC and Marvel comics because they grew up with them. But what ended up happening is because comic books have this mentality that, oh, comic books are for, like, 12-year-old boys and whatnot, they actually went out of their way to ignore anyone who came who wasn't a 12-year-old boy. And this was, like, well documented by, like, there's a famous rated R comedian who, let's see, he's an actor as well, who appeared, like, he was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't remember his name. He was also in The King of Queens. Those are the two shows I know him for. That's what happens when I get serious. And that's kind of the issue that the Tales series has, is it's very insistent that it's for a specific demographic and unwilling to actually acknowledge the people who are the ones, you know, actively playing the franchise, you know? Because I do actually feel if the Tales series, like, again, one of the reasons why Tales of Berseria, in my opinion, is the best Tales game, is because it's willing to commit to these more, that's what happens when I get, what's what I'm looking for, by trying to be, you know, just super kid-friendly JRPGs, they hamper their creativity, because a lot of story developments are kind of dumb and not well thought out, but it's like, yeah, but a kid who's not experienced with these tropes for the first time is going to get blown away by them. And I'm speaking from personal experience here because that's what happened in Tales Symphonia. I had never experienced these story beats or these story ideas. So yeah, Tales Symphonia was life-changing for me. And I can't always appreciate the Tales series for that. But the end result is that you often see this in the fandom, that whatever the first Tales game they played, they love. And they'll sing the praises to high heaven, but they usually have a harder time warming up to the rest of the series because they reuse a lot of story beats, they reuse a lot of tropes. The stories are very tropey, they are very kid-friendly. I will read your comment in a second, Val. I just really want to finish this thought before I lose it. But the Tales series ultimately hampers itself by trying to constantly stay super kid-friendly and reach the maximum childhood demographic rather than recognizing who their audience is and growing with them and growing to meet them, you know? And I mean, don't get me wrong, there are some fandom Star Wars that, quite frankly, I don't think the fans deserve jack shit for their behavior. But for the most part, Tales fans tend to be pretty healthy, at least from my interactions. I mean, sure, we get passionate about which games we do or don't like, but still. Okay, Val. The reality is that if you want to appeal to the most people for your media, then you need to appeal to the gay and trans people. I have to include us and have us in there. I don't disagree, but unfortunately, because there are still too many old farts in charge, if you know what I mean, the mindset is still, oh, you gotta appeal to Christianity if you want to hit the widest demographic, because clearly that's the biggest, you know, group out there. Never mind the fact that it's like, dude, you know that most Christians, you know, like the super fundamentalist Christian. Well, okay. Plenty of Christians now are starting to, you know, open up and push back against, you know, anti-LGBTQ sentiment, thankfully. But, like, the super duper fundamentalist Christians, you know, the ones who are the loudest, they don't even play these games anyway. It's the crowd of you. How do I put this? Freedom of religion. It was something I saw on social media. The whole freedom of religion means I can't do that because it's against my religion. But most people view it as that's against my religion, so you can't do that because it's against my religion, and that's not what freedom of religion is supposed to be about. Let's see. And the same mentality applies to Pokemon. Most people's first region is their favorite, and they push it. But Black and White's called the best story despite it being shit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do feel Black and White having N as a constant presence did help the story feel more present, for lack of a better word. Which, given that that was kind of a... Because I remember I thought the story was a lot more, shall we say, interesting. I didn't think the story was good, but I thought it was more interesting when I first played Black and White. But then after I was away from it for a time, I did realize, okay, no, it's not that the story was good, it's that they put more of an effort to constantly have it be part of the, you know, the, for lack of a better word, the day-to-day experience of the game. Because, like, I think Hoenn has a much better story than Black and White. Even if, and I mean, Oris did a much better job of putting a bit bigger spotlight on the story, thankfully. So that helps a lot. But you could go through, like, multiple gyms without being reminded about Team Aqua or Team Magma, depending on which version you played. So, honestly, I really... Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's... So, I think that's really more what it was in regards to Black and White, is... It's not that the story was actually good, it's just they made more of a token effort to remind you what the story was more frequently. Again, I'm not saying that actually makes it good, but... Because, I mean, don't get me wrong, I played the original Pokemon games. That was my introduction to the series. I played Pokemon Blue, Pokemon Yellow. Yeah. No, wait. This might... Yeah, I think this is where I need to be. The original concept of question Pokemon is ethical is a good question, but they drop it immediately for isn't it great to have different opinions garbage. Yeah. No, and I agree. Plus, you really, really, really have to commit to that idea because... So, one of the big criticisms about the original Pokemon movie is that its message basically boils down to battles are bad. In a franchise, it's all about battles, you know?
And here we are. Welcome to Mount Temza.
Yeah, I am so sorry I wasted so much time, because this is where I needed to go.
These are human footprints, right? There sure are a lot of them.
Could it be the hunting blades?
That, or it might be the Knights.
But why would the knights be here?
Because we kind of established the knights suck.
Well, Flynn
Except
was
for Flynn.
looking for Apatheia too. If that's what the hunting blades are doing here, then the Knights could be here for the same reason.
Why is everyone scrambling to get their hands on Apatheia all of a sudden?
Because, I mean, again, I don't think that question is a bad one. And honestly could be explored in a very interesting way in Pokemon, but it needs to be handled with a lot more
It
tact.
was so pretty, all sparkly and glittery. I'm sure it's incredibly valuable.
Shut up, Patty. The Apatheia is literally Bellius's corpse.
We never had the chance to get an explanation from the Dawn.
If Judy will clue us in on what she knows, things might clear up.
Judy, I wonder if she'll tell us.
I don't know. It's up to her whether she'll talk or not. Of course, if she decides not to.
Yuri.
Stop being...
You guys, come look at this! This is crazy!
I'll keep saying that Violet and Scarlet has the best story. Actually, I do have to agree. It's all personal. Every story is personal and character focused. Even the ending is still about the boy connecting with his parent. I agree. Like, the reason why Tales of Vesperia pisses me off so much, even to this day, even though many of my initial criticisms are invalid, and I can acknowledge that, is because this game would have been amazing if they kept everything on a personal level. But they have to go with a we have to save the world from calamity plot in the last eighth of the game. When, quite frankly, if they had just kept it as just the personal dynamic and the political struggle, this game would have been 10 out of 10. And, yeah, I think, in my opinion, people don't understand what an epic story actually is. They seem to think an epic story or a good story has to be something large, all-encompassing, and has real ramifications, when a smaller story that affects people on a more personal level can feel bigger and feel more impactful than literally saving the world, you know? Because, yeah, I do feel, sure, you save the world from disaster in Ruby and Sapphire. I know, I'm using one that I do consider good. But Scarlet and Violet felt bigger because you were more invested on an emotional level. I mean, unlike Pokemon, Tales games can write amazing save the world plots, but this one's about competing ideology with characters that just doesn't work on a grand scale. I agree. Like, I feel Tales of Xillia and Tales of Berseria tackle the idea of a potentially world-ending plot with competing ideology much better. Because, at least in both cases, the idea of the world is at stake was present throughout a good chunk of the game. Because, like, in Berseria, saving the world kind of was just something that happened when it came to stopping Arthur. Like...
What the heck is this?
Because, like...
The mountain's been...
Part of the problem with the end game of this game is that they could have made it so that stopping the political corruption and saving the world were intrinsically tied together. And they do a token effort with that, but the final villain you fight is a guy named Duke. And the reason he's trying to... And it's more like, I'm just going to let the world die because humans suck. It's like, yes, technically the world-ending event happened due to political corruption, but the final showdown is not about the clash of ideology that this game was built around. And don't get me wrong, a clash of ideology was not necessarily present in Xillia, but... How do I put this? Because I do want to... Because I've heard Tales of Xillia might be getting a remake, and if it is, I'm absolutely going to stream it, because... While it's not one of my personal favorites, I do think Xillia is one of the better Tales games, and it's definitely probably the best entry-level game when it comes to this franchise. But a question they were asking was, do people who are fundamentally causing the world to die just to live, do they have the right to exist, or is it better for the greater good just to wipe them out? And now, obviously, the main characters definitely take the stance of no, everyone deserves the right to live, because that's always a backbone of the Tales games, is all life is equally sacred. but it's presented in a much more nuanced way. I think I get this. The game was meant to appeal to a child/teen demographic. They have to stick to big epic fighting stories to keep their attention. Adults don't think highly as kids' intelligence. You know, that's actually a very good point, Val. And that does actually explain why the Tales series does struggle to do more nuanced storytelling on a smaller scale like that, is because it's like, well, the kids won't stay invested.
What could have happened?
Is there really supposed to be a town here?
Well, it was here 10 years ago. That I'm sure of. But I can't talk for what happened since then.
10 years? That's quite a ways back. What were you doing way out here?
Dude, Raven's only 40, and quite frankly, someone in their 30s, especially if they're a guild member, can be pretty well traveled. Why is that so weird? You know, I think that might be another example of maybe some issues with the English translation. I am really considering, once I'm done with this stream, replaying through this game on my own, but with the Japanese audio and the Japanese translation. Well, then again, I imagine the subtitles are going to be the same. It might be I enjoy the performances more.
Oh, well.
That voice. Is that you, freak?
Okay, Judy Hakuna
Here's hoping
Daitatas.
everything's all right.
But yes, that is
Let's
very much
hurry.
Baul. And also, that's not a voice, that's Baul's cry. I mean, okay, then again, I think it is kind of established that Judy can actually understand those noises, so I guess it is technically a language, which means it is technically... Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna be sure. Why not? That's a voice.
It's even worse from up close.
I've never seen a hole this big before.
Have you seen the country's deficit? So Tales of Arise does get more nuanced because it's appealing to adults, but also cinematic and flashy, over-the-top shit because they want to show off their new engine, and gamers also buy flashy games. You're not wrong. Honestly, Tales of Arise is a game that I really don't know how I feel about, because I feel like its story almost works. But then when you get to the final act, I don't actually understand how everything ties together. Because I do really like Tales of Arise throughout most of its runtime. But again, I just don't know how I feel about the finale, or how the game concludes. So that's... Abby and I are going to stream Tales of Arise together, because A, she hasn't played it, and B, kind of similar with Berseria, I do want to get her take, and I do want to get it on stream. Because... yeah, I really feel Tales of Arise... I mean, then again, I've played Tales Symphonia 2 and Tales of Zestiria, so I know it's not total garbage. But it's the one Tales game I just don't know how I feel about. That's part it bothered me because it's all characters had to be hit with a stupid bar for the plot to even work.
There's no way this could have happened naturally.
It looks like something exploded here.
An explosion! Are there monsters that can do something like this?
They were, but those monsters were all wiped out.
What do you mean wiped out?
What you see here, this was a battleground in the Great War.
What? Really?
So that means humans and Entelekea fought here. The humans were victorious, but there were scarcely any survivors. The facts behind the war are shrouded in darkness.
Which would be really interesting, but...
Not even the official government histories give many details about what happened.
yeah, because the humans were... like, just spoilers, I don't care. The war happened because of humans. Like, the humans were to blame. I think technically the Entelekeas attacked first, but it was because humans were causing them to all go extinct.
So the Entelekea did this to the mountains. Terrible power.
The Great War. 10 years ago. That must have been when you were a baby, Patty.
But this is the first time I've heard that a battle took place here.
Or angry with any story where they have interesting ideas but do nothing with them. And that's a big reason I hate this game so much, is because they don't do they don't do things with their ideas. Like, one of the reasons why I do think Tales of Symphonia's story holds up so well, despite other elements maybe not working, is because while it's a more mature story for a younger audience, they largely keep the ideas a little more simple, specifically that all life has value. That's the game's backbone, and it sticks to it. It doesn't try to get more nuanced than that. Lloyd's a simple main character, and his true... I would compare Lloyd to a more simplistic version of Superman, in that he's someone who doesn't necessarily go through an in-depth character arc, but by the time the game starts, at least their heart is already set in love and compassion. And that's what pulls the game through. And that's why I think Tales of Symphonia works, where this game doesn't, because it tries to do something more nuanced, but doesn't deliver. Now, I have gone on record saying I think Tales of the Abyss, which is another Tales game that's very popular, doesn't work either. But I have come to realize I think my beef with it might be due to a translation error. Because I realize the reason why I don't think the game works is because of one specific speech that the villain makes that makes his motivation make no goddamn sense. And, well, I have no proof of that. Someone said, what if that was just they messed up and got the meaning behind his speech wrong? And I'm like, oh shit. If that was true, would that change my opinion about the game's story? And it kind of did. I just wish... And Tales of the Abyss is another... Hello, Alif God. It's good to see ya. And I really wish Tales of the Abyss was remade on something other than the 3DS. Because it's a Tales game I need to revisit. And I want to revisit for the channel. Because, as I've stated, when I play these games for the channel, partially because I have other people watching, but partially because I'm focusing on the game so much more than if I was playing casually, I'm able to reevaluate the games more critically. I mean, that's why I realized, oh shit, Tales of Graces kind of sucks. I still like it, but it kind of sucks. And it's why I'm actually noticing more good points in this game than I did when I originally played it, because I'm streaming it. And yeah, some translations of the 2000 era are atrocious. Totally agree. Because I need to reevaluate Tales of the Abyss. But because it's only on the PlayStation 2, and I'm not paying the, you know, it goes for hundreds of dollars now, and I'm not paying for that. Plus, our PlayStation 2 doesn't work anymore. And on the 3DS, which is what I've played it on, and I do not have the ability to stream 3DS games, it's, yeah.
The Empire's kept a pretty tight hold on information about it.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of secrets. You should know that by now.
Thought it was strange that monsters would wage war against humans, but
What they didn't want us to know was that those monsters were actually Intellicaea.
Yeah, can we stop saying monsters? We know. Thank you, I appreciate it, Leaf God. We know that the war was fought with Intellicaea, and we know Intellicaea are not monsters.
You sure know a lot about this stuff, Raven.
You come across a lot if you live long enough, kiddies.
It's almost as if he fought in the war.
Okay,
Dumbasses.
enough history lessons. We came here so we could look for Judy.
The monster's voice we heard just now. What if they've already got Judith cornered?
My dad owns a PS2. Yeah, I mean, I
She's
own one,
really
it just doesn't
strong.
work.
There's no way she'll go down
Plus,
easily.
I don't own Abyss on PlayStation 2 anyway,
course
so
not.
it wouldn't really matter one way or the other.
I've got to give that dragon freak a beat down. I can't let a monster beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
Let's
Rita,
hurry.
after Carol, you are this game's best character. It works. Yeah. No, I'm jealous.
Man, the Great War.
No, honestly,
Leaving a
so
gaping hole where a mountain
this
used
game
to
was
be.
never translated into
Still
English,
can't
which makes me
believe how much
sad.
power the Intellicaea
But there's a
must have had.
Tales game called Tales
How
of
could the humans
Innocence.
fight beings that
Every
powerful and not
member of the
demolished?
cast
I
is
just don't
Carol
get
and
it.
Patty's
Indeed.
age. Because to
Great
my
War
understanding, the
may still
game is
hold
about
secrets we haven't
innocent
uncovered yet.
children being forced to
And
grow
I'll
up in a
bet
cruel
those
world.
secrets are hidden somewhere in this
And I've heard
mountain.
such good things about that game, and I
But the
really
war's
wish it
over
was
now.
translated into
Can't have anything
English.
to do with us, right?
Do you
I
have
hope
a
so,
PS3
but-
or something like that? I do, but the problem is that the current model of Elgato that we have is not compatible. Like, due to a number of like anti-piracy things that were installed, that were part of the PlayStation 3's. Let's see, I mean, you could always start learning Japanese or
I'll do my best.
to experience the games. I actually did try that. I didn't get very far, just because, like, for the last 13 years, I've been having to work jobs that I've been working, 40 to 60 hours a week. I barely have time to do anything, let alone learn a new language, Because yes, I did actually, when I found out that Tales of Innocence was on the PS Vita, and the PS Vita is not region locked, I actually did start trying to learn Japanese to play it. But like I said, I didn't get very far. Wait, I'm going to wait till everyone's back in the party before I start using those, just in case Judy or Flynn needs them more. But yeah. Kind of going back to the characters in this game. Rapide is not a character. Rapide is a dog. And while there's certainly some interesting storytelling to be had with a dog who identifies as being a human. Yeah, I know that's not the language they use, but that's basically what they mean. They really don't do that much about it. They don't do much with the idea. Patty is very tacked on since she was added for the special edition for the PlayStation 3. She wasn't part of the original story, so she's a bit crowbarred into the narrative. Sorry, I'm just gonna give a critique real quick. Raven, I really shouldn't phrase it this way, but Raven to me is just Zelos from Tales of Symphonia, but way more boring and not as likable as Zelos from Tales of Symphonia. I'm gonna actually, okay, we'll see you when you get back, Ali. Estelle is a perfectly fine character, but she's just the nice girl that you need to protect, who can kind of protect. She's a stereotype, I feel. Like, the best way I can describe Estelle is they boiled Colette from Tales of Symphonia down to her most basic character traits and did absolutely nothing else with her. I don't hate her, but she's not a fully fledged person. She is just the innocent martyr archetype, if you know what I mean. Judy, I can't help but wonder if maybe Judy was, again, also better in the Japanese version, because in the English version, she's just kind of there. She occasionally provides useful explanations since she's friends with the Entelekea, so she knows a little more than some people. But because everyone is so tight-lipped in this game that they're not willing to share information when it's useful, she just feels like she's just there to be TNA. Kindness and innocence are not a personality. They are traits. Agreed. I like Rita. Rita's fun. She's got a good personality that makes me chuckle. But she is ultimately just the rambunctious... because again, she's kind of like Rain from Tales of Symphonia. Because like Rain was obsessed with ruins, Rita is obsessed with Blastia. So she is kind of the rambunctious. When I see something I love, I go crazy. But you know what? Hey, glad to have you back, Ali. But she isn't the deepest character. But she's very likable. And honestly, like I said, she has great great chemistry with Estelle. And honestly, they would make a better couple. So I will say Rita and Estelle do make each other more interesting. So I will give them both that, if nothing else. Carol, in my humble opinion, is the best character in the game. He's got the most complete character arc. You feel for him. Let's see. Oh my god, I hate stories hiding information. Just for the mystery, Tales of Arise did that. Shinon just tells them why you want to beat the lords. Yeah, that's fair. I could agree with that. Because at least in, like, say, Tales of the Abyss, when a character like, shoot, what's his name? Sorry, I'm drawing a blank. But when a character hides information, it's because they have their own agenda, you know? Judy, I don't understand why she withholds information, and that's just because she doesn't have a defined character. Gun mode on, loads gun. Good for, yeah, definitely get those guns ready. Carol has the best story arc in the game because he's a little kid who wants to be strong, but he's always afraid. And Yuri's relationship with Carol, like Yuri kind of takes on the role of big brother to Carol, is always believing in Carol, is always giving Carol confidence. That's Yuri's best character trait in this game. Laser pointer shot. Definitely. That's what I'm looking for. That is Yuri's best character trait. As a result, Carol is the best character because, let's see, in the amount of stories that would be resolved if you didn't just sit there. Yep, definitely. Don't shoot me with your tiny laser pointer. No, I agree. Like, again, I don't mind if someone withholds information if it's in character. Like, again, maybe they have their own agenda. But if it's just, oh, if I tell you what's going on, then the conflict will be resolved, that's just bad writing. Because, like, again, in Tales of Symphonia, and even in this game, I won't say which one, like, because, like, the Tales games will often have a traitor character in the party. If they're withholding information because they're secretly planning to betray the group, that's one thing. I mean, it kind of sucks if the betrayal's contrived and stupid, but at least there's like, okay, they're technically working against you, so it makes sense why they wouldn't share. But if you've already had the confrontation where it's like, you betrayed me, now make up for it, and they're still withholding information, that's bad writing. But yeah, because Carol is always afraid. I'm going to watch something else because I now understand the title. You're good, man. You are good. That's what I'm looking for. But Carol is such an interesting character because Carol is always pissing himself afraid, but he always acts. Plus, he's smart. We see in multiple times throughout the game, he is so smart that despite, you know, him not having the confidence to get a lot done, he knows how to, you know, help people, you know? Let's see, like, we can use Arvin for an example. He doesn't help hide information that long, but he doesn't tell you what he's up to because he just met you and also has never had friends. He just doesn't get you would stay. No, exactly. And quite frankly,
I was just thinking about what Judy said. Bowel saved me during the war.
Yeah, Arvin's a great example because his motivation for hiding certain aspects makes sense.
I just realized that,
and like you said, they don't dwell on it too long.
When she said that.
So maybe she fought against the Empire with that dragon freak during the Great War?
It'd be kind of sad if Judy was an enemy of mankind.
Maybe Raven can tell us. You fought in the Great War, didn't you, old man?
Huh? Why?
I think only someone who was on the scene would know so much about the war.
No
Really?
shit.
But there weren't supposed to be very many survivors, right?
Very true. I thought I was gonna die back then, too. If only I'd died then. Things would have been so much easier, too.
Spoiler for a 20-year-old game, actually Raven did die in the Great War.
If only you died. What a weird thing to say.
So, did you ever see Judith during the war?
No, not a chance. I may be a player, but 10-year-old girls are definitely off limits for me.
Also because Arvin is so obviously socially awkward, I can forgive him being a bit aggressive or rude. He clearly doesn't socialize. No, and I agree with that too.
Jeez.
Then it sounds like Judy didn't participate in the war.
Right. I mean, if it was 10 years ago, she'd be 9. That's even younger than me.
I feel like I never saw Baul either. Maybe they ran away from the battle?
So it was really the Antilochea who fought in the battle?
Yes, I guess so. Though at the time, we thought they were only a really terrible breed of monsters.
But wow, you were really in the war, huh, Raven?
I thought that was kind of obvious at this point.
Cool. I thought only Imperial Knights fought in the war.
I just realized all 3 of your friends in Scarlet and Violet are socially awkward outcasts, and I think that's why, despite how glitchy the game was at launch, Scarlet and Violet resonated with so many people.
Maybe I'll tell you more about it when you're older.
Yep. I mean, that's a big reason why I like it. I've always felt like a social outcast, you know?
Man, could you be any weaker?
Don't get cocky.
Let's see. So yeah, Carol's the best character in this game. Flynn would be a great character that I would love, but he gets some character assassination due to bad writing, which would have not been character assassination. It would have been genuinely compelling, you know, competing ideologies and whatnot, but the game does a piss poor job of delivering on that, so yeah, I don't think Flynn's a great character because of that.
All right, here we
I
go.
don't hate Flynn. In fact, I do prefer Flynn to Yuri by a lot, but yeah, I'm not going to pretend for a second he's actually a good character, because he's not. Nimona is my favorite. She resonated hard with me because she screamed ADHD and hyperfixation, and I have lots of friends because I came across as too... I have lost friends because I have come across as energetic and too much to handle. Yeah, I've had situations, not quite to that extreme, but I have lost friends because people have been people said I was too much to be around at times. That's why I had to, like, really kind of push down a lot of, like, my energy. And I mean, it's part of the reason why I have such social anxieties, because I used to be able to just go up and talk to anyone and get along with anyone, but because I was constantly being like, you need to tone it down, dude, I just became so socially self-aware that, yeah, I went from being a social butterfly when I was younger to, shit, is my mere presence gonna tick people off, you know?
Hey, that was a nice break from things. Thanks.
Let me think. And then, yeah, the last character in this game is Yuri. Yuri is actually where, growing up, 99% of my hatred of this game stemmed from Yuri. I hated Yuri. I thought he was one of the worst protagonists that I've ever dealt with in a video game. And while I do feel some of my criticisms against him aren't valid, I still hate Yuri. I do still think he is one of the worst parts of this game.
More like the remains of one.
And yeah, Yuri does
There
suck in my
might be
opinion.
some treasure around here.
What do you think Judith would come here for?
Maybe she's a Critian. Maybe she lived here before the Great War. Okay, Carol's a kid, so... used to be a people pleaser when I would do anything everyone else wanted, so I could be liked to make them happy, even if it meant they abused me. Now, the problem with pleasing people is the people that you attract by being a people pleaser don't want to be around you for you. They're people who want to have you around because you don't push
Suppose it
back.
wouldn't make much sense to say
And
she was
it's
feeling
something I'm
homesick.
still learning to do myself.
The hunting blades!
Yeah, we fought like them a couple times now.
Judith!
Hey, Judy.
You.
Damn you! Go inform Tyson and Nan.
Hey, nobody lays a hand on one of our own. If she's broken our laws, we'll settle this amongst ourselves. Now get out of here.
We're only trying to follow a monster we're hunting. This doesn't involve you.
Okay, this is getting us nowhere. Let me at him!
You're right. It's just a waste of time trying to talk sense to people like this.
Anyone who interrupts our conversation is gonna be taking a long nap.
Leave. Now. Or do you really want to do this?
Honestly, the hunting blades suck. You should just...
Judith, you followed me here.
Yeah, we're here to settle things for the sake of the guild.
Judith, tell us everything you know.
See, I didn't learn my lesson about standing my ground until I was 22, thanks to my favorite YouTuber bluntly stating how trying to please people just makes you open to abuse. Yeah.
Why you destroyed the Blastia. About the Apatheia and the Entelikeia. Their relationship to Pharaoh. All of it.
And even though you're one of us, your answers will decide your fate.
Punish the unjust, was it? Honestly, I don't know if that's really a good thing or not. You've already come this far. I suppose there's no going back now. Come.
Grr.
Yuri, what did you mean about Judy's fate?
It's because he's been called out and caught for murdering people. So now he's like, well, because everyone knows I'm a dick, I have to act like a dick. This also happened when I did speak my mind. It was made very clear my tabletop group were abusive. Liked me because I didn't contradict them. Yeah, no, I had a friend like that in college.
Dawn's last moments taught me, it's that I've been too soft.
Bullshit.
If a part is infected, you cut it off before it infects the whole. Even if it's a comrade, an Entelekea, or a friend.
Wow. I'm surprised the disc didn't get scratched on all of that edge.
You mean even if it's Flynn or Pharaoh?
Yeah. It's the path I've chosen for myself.
As a prick. Sorry, besides his relationship with Carol, we are officially past the point where I have anything nice to say about Yuri. This is,
The hunting blades again?
one of my best friends,
We didn't
but
just
being
cross
so talkative
paths
and
this
speaking my
time.
mind, that's good.
We're after the same thing. We just might have to fight.
If it does come to that, you guys don't have to worry about me. But we can't keep Judith waiting. Let's go!
Carol,
Our boy's growing up.
Yeah,
isn't there some way we can avoid fighting the hunting blades?
I hope so. But it's pretty much up to them.
No, Lee should just wipe the hunting blades out. They are the most, like, honestly, besides, like, the super corrupt politicians who are, again, literally feeding children to monsters, the hunting blades are some of the most obnoxious and hateable characters in the game because they're so one-note and stupid that they are completely beyond reasoning with. They are such annoying antagonists. And the sad thing is the game doesn't frame them as antagonists. It frames them as misguided passion, which, yeah, is technically true, but when the misguided passion is actively causing harm, it needs to be framed as harmful. And I really hate that the game doesn't... And that's something else that bugs me. When a piece of media doesn't realize that a behavior is bad or an action is bad and it tries to frame it as misguided or as, oh, it's okay, but it's like, yeah, it's maybe something they need to work on, but it's just misguided rather than it being actually bad. Like, it's part of the reason why I really hated like 50 Shades of Grey and Twilight, or just anything that has like an abusive partner, and they try to just be like, oh, it's just misguided passion or misguided love. I'm like, fuck that. Honestly, I don't feel anything about Yuri either. I've seen this archetype so much, it's just bland. Yeah, and that's another reason why this game falls apart, is because at the start of the game, there was an interesting dynamic between him and Flynn, because Flynn's a knight and Yuri dropped out of the knights, where Yuri's like, okay, Flynn can't legally go in and arrest these politicians because he doesn't have the authority, and the 2010s we saw way too much. You know, trying to hand wave abuse, especially in children's shows like She-Ra and Steven Universe. It was so creepy. Yeah. So Yuri's whole thing was like, hey, I'm going to go for a walk and just happen to accidentally break into this secure location. So, Flynn, why don't you respond to these break-in allegations in this, you know, governor's manner? And because you're legally allowed to respond to an emergency like that and just offer assistance to the nobles and just happen to accidentally on purpose come across all their incriminating secrets. That was actually a very good and, you know, very interesting dynamic the game was setting up. Because to be perfectly frank, that story could work. Because it's like, Flynn, you can't, you know, change the system from within if there's so much corruption it's blocking your forward movement. But I'll be the sacrificial lamb, for lack of a better word, to break the law to allow you to rise. That's an interesting concept. The problem is they don't commit to that idea, and they just go back and forth to Yuri wagging his finger at Flynn for how dare you serve the corrupt people, and Flynn is like, well, yeah, but you haven't accomplished anything, Yuri. But the game just frames it as Yuri is the one who's supposed to be in the right. Now, again, don't get me wrong. With how corrupt the Empire is, Yeah, I feel Yuri has a point that you shouldn't be listening to these people, but he doesn't actually offer a proper alternative. Sure, he decides to abandon the Empire to form a guild, but it's like, okay, but you're now actively abandoning your friends in the lower quarter who you, by his own admission, were basically, they all raised him when he was orphaned. So it's like, so you're just making things better for yourself. You're not actually making things better for your friends and family, you know? It's confusing. And the game should have stuck with the thing that both parts were needed to make the world a better place, but that's not really the direction the message goes. Realistically speaking, if a system rules themselves are corrupt and meant to be corrupt, you can't change them from within. You have to destroy it all and build a better one. But that's also kind of what Yuri was doing, is that he was allowing Flynn to tear down this corrupt system by, you know, cutting, I mean, because again, at first it was simple. Yuri would do crimes that would give Flynn legal precedent to barge in. And then when that wasn't working, he was going through and actually killing the corrupt politicians, which I want to be clear.
So, you are aware that this place was the ground.
Don't have a problem with that, because the people he's killing were that evil and did need to die. It's just, it's the way the game frames everything. Because it's like, okay, if you were trying to help Flynn make things better, why are you being such a dick to him when he actually is making things better? It's just bad writing.
Yeah, we heard from the old man here.
The Great War was sparked by a type of Blastia.
What?
Sounds like the game is trying to play both sides and have a point, things when it doesn't work within the framing of corrupt. No, it doesn't. And I mean, the other reason why it doesn't work is if the final boss of the game should have been, so I would say the main villain of the game is a corrupt politician, but he dies like 2/3 of the way through the game, and then it kind of shifts gears into the world-ending calamity story. But hold on, let me finish this scene and I'll, because this provides context for the end game. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's wondering, air is this world's equivalent of mana. I don't know why they didn't just call it mana. Why is there no voice acting? Oh, there is. The sound just cut out. Hold on. Thank you for catching that, Val. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Wait, you mean there are still Hermes models in operation?
Yes, at Rago's mansion, Emmett Hill, Gosferost, not to mention.
The Ceres Blastia on the Fiertia.
That new Ceres Blastia must have been a Hermes Blastia.
Yeah, okay, I think that should have fixed the issue, I hope.
So
Then you've been destroying the Blastia in place of the Entelekea.
Let's see, I'm grinding in Violet, so I noticed quickly when there's no game sound. Yeah, again, thanks for the catch.
You could have mentioned that.
No, seriously.
Why didn't you say something? Were you gonna save the world all on your own? Are you stupid?
Again, this is why Rita is probably the second best character, is because even though she wanted to beat up Judy for destroying Blastia, and she does have a freak out here, she's being perfectly reasonable and actually takes in what Judy has to say, and yeah.
What was that?
Bo.
Oh, it's this fucker. What the fuck was that?
It looks like we found our mark.
Christ, I hate
You
these
will not
guys.
pass. You're a person, aren't you? How can you defend a monster?
Entelekea are not monsters.
Didn't you get the news? I said nobody lays a hand on one of our own.
We won't allow that. Not even from you, Nan.
We were having a conversation over here. Butt out.
I can't believe these guys. Such scallywags.
So, I want to be clear. This plot device I actually would be okay with. Because quite frankly, the idea of, you know, the rich and powerful using technology that's going to fundamentally doom the planet is a very real thing, because they're like, well, I'm not going to be around to deal with the aftermath. Why should I care? It's just... How do I put this? Duke as the final villain just doesn't tie into the story well enough, in my opinion, to real... I don't know. It's just... Because it's not like tying this end of the world story into the corrupt politicians. It's not like it comes out of nowhere. It is established. It's just, it kind of takes away from the personal drama that the game was doing so well in the early stages of this game.
Everyone, have the hunting blades added people to their list of targets?
Nobody who associates with monsters can rightly call themselves a person.
And that's just keep adding on. I'll just give me more reasons to despise you. I mean,
Carol, have you forgotten the credo of the hunting blades? Step aside.
Hey, Nan, have you forgotten that you kicked Carol out of the Hunting Blades? Therefore, he doesn't actually have to follow the creed of the Hunting Blades, you stupid hypocritical morons. I fucking hate all of you!
Monsters are evil, and the hunting blades pursue that evil. But the Entelekea aren't evil. They were fighting to save the world.
Don't let them fool you with that credo nonsense. They're on a job. They're here for the Apatheia.
It seems you won't listen to reason.
You kind of have to possess reason to get people to listen to it, and you two don't count. Which one of these were doomed ourselves by meeting with Mother Nature? Had a resolution be an actual communication with nature in a non-violent ending? For real.
If you have no intention of moving,
You leave us no choice.
Good. I want to kick your ass. Wait, I have to? Okay. Oh. So, Judith is one of only two characters I'm actually having in a second costume. Mostly because, for the most part, I kind of want to let kind of the game play out for the most part. The other one here is Patty, but that's mostly because I actually just think she looks better in red. But, and I kind of just want your opinion on this one, Val. The reason why I have her in a second costume is because I have always loathed her design. Like, I know it's kind of weird, and I've seen way sexier designs throughout the years, but just, I've never liked Judy's design. And again, I'm someone that, yes, I admit, I'm very super critical when it comes to overly sexual female designs as a whole, but I'm still not a complete prude. I can still appreciate them at times, even though I'm like, you gotta have it a little more balanced, you know? But Judy's design in particular I've always hated, because I think it really boils down to she just doesn't have a strong enough personality on her own, so she does just come across as solely existing for TNA. Because, like, I would say every Tales game technically has a character who's the designated fan service character. What's wrong with people who designed that outfit is literally called Trophy Wife. You're admitting she's a little object to ogle over. No, definitely. And so swimsuits, you know, being able to unlock swimsuits for characters, that's also pretty normal for Tales of Symphonia, or the Tales series. Hers was the first one to just be kind of a straight up, you know, bikini. Like, yeah, other characters have worn bikinis, but they look like, you know, oh, they were designed it for function, or they were designed to be cute. Hers is just a straight up modern day skimpy bikini. Like, they were not being subtle with her design.
So I guess we just gotta fight this out.
Don't blame me for what happens.
And again, unfortunately, like I said, her personality is not strong enough to really stand out on her own as anything other than fans. Oh, so okay, so this game does have Mystic Arts. Okay, good to know. That's bullshit. He interrupted my burst art. Let's see. Oh. I hate the entire outfit because they actually called it Trophy Wife. Worse than you admitting. Well, okay. Trophy Wife is just one of the titles. So her outfit, I think, like her default outfit is like spear or something like that. Just Trophy Wife was the first title next to her costume. You're also not wrong, because the fact that that's a title that she can have it all means everything you're saying is also 100% accurate. Sorry, I'm anal, so I do just want to be like, it's not technically called the Trophy Wife, it's just, that is a title. I guess I'm just saying, it's like, if we're going to hate something, let's make sure we hate it for the right reason or have the right context, you know? Because let's be real, simply getting one fact wrong, even if everything else you say is right, people will use that as a reason to be like, aha, see, you're wrong about everything, you know? So, what's kind of funny is there was a Twitch streamer I used to follow. I don't remember when I officially stopped watching them, but it was a while ago. But she actually was sponsored by Bandai Namco on more than one occasion. And she also had a very good Sheena cosplay from Tales of Symphonia. So when this game's remake came out, they had her help promote it, and she appeared at a number of events in her Sheena cosplay.
I'm sorry.
And no one was like saying, wow, it's a great cosplay. People are like, Sheena's not in Tales of Vesperia. Why aren't you dressed as Judith? And it's like, you're just a bunch of horny pricks complaining that a woman's not more naked than, let's see. I'm not offended by the whole woman made just to perv on because I watch anime. Offended because this is a Tales game. These people can write characters and story. Why are you doing this? I agree. Like I said, this game has great chemistry amongst the characters. I just don't think the characters themselves are all that great. By the way, if anyone's wondering, because I have stated I don't like Raven, the reason I'm using Raven is he's probably one of the better backup healer characters. At least besides Flynn, but Flynn's not currently in the party.
What's happening?
Baul is trying to evolve as an Entelekea.
Because Pokemon is popular.
It looks like he's suffering.
Baul, come on.
You can do it!
No!
Yeah, seriously, what the fuck were you thinking?
I wanna
Remember
heal
what
my
happened to
wounds.
Bellius?
There's nothing I can do.
So wasn't this game made with children as the target demographic? It's even worse. Again, that's another problem with this game, is this game, out of all the Tales games, especially since it came out in 2006, it feels like it was aiming for a older demographic. That's why it's got an edgier story, which is another reason I'm less forgiving of stupid plot developments. Because at least Tales of Symphonia, well, sure, it's rated T and it does swear a lot, it was made for young teens. Like, I was 13 when I played it. Perfect age demographic. To me, because this one was released on the Xbox 360, it was aiming for an older demographic, but still kept a lot of the things that makes the Tales series kind of goofy.
My power is poison to you, isn't it?
At least with Pokemon, having hot characters aren't massively scantily clad. No, yeah, definitely.
Healing wounds is in your power, Estelle.
And even some of the characters who do show more skin in Pokemon, it makes sense in context. So it doesn't feel like unnecessary fan service. It's like, yeah, the swimmers are going to wear swim bathing suits. Or, yeah, Nessa, she's the water-themed gym leader, so it makes sense that her outfit would still kind of resemble athletic swim gear.
What do you mean?
Anyway.
Don't you remember Bellius's words?
Yeah.
Power corrupts, but you are
Seriously,
different.
that person considering the hottest character in Scarlet and Violet is Larry. I'm not joking. No, and I'm aware of that
Never
fact.
lose that kindness, the compassion you so readily show to others.
Yeah, the camera pans over and you see Carol's got like a mini tape recorder and then he's holding it up. So Estelle's like, thanks, but you ruined my flashback.
Compassion for others.
Your thoughts are reaching Baul. I'm sure of it.
All we can do now is hope for the best. Well now.
Amazing.
I knew you could do it.
Your partner seems like he's gonna be just fine.
Yes. Thank you all for helping to protect him. This is something I couldn't have done alone.
You're one of us. Of course we'd help.
That's right.
Hey, it's a windfish.
Didn't I tell you? You got through to him. You make it through to Pharaoh as well. Will you be going to meet him?
That's up to Estelle to decide.
I'll go. It's been the purpose of my journey after all.
Are you sure? What if you end up getting killed?
Even still, I've got to stand firm on this.
It won't be too long before the hunting blades send reinforcements. How about a change in scenery before they show up and spoil the party?
There's only one path down from here, though. We're bound to run into them.
The skies are wide open above us.
Have you lost your mind?
Get on. We'll fly as far as the Fiertia. We can finish talking once we arrive.
So, I do, as much as I do beef with certain elements of this game, I gotta admit, this is actually one of my favorite. Baul is our flying machine for the game. And he is one of my favorites. Because I love the fact that we just hook up the boat to Baul, and this is how we fly now. It's silly, I know, but I really like this visual. Plus, it's nice that the boat continues to be relevant, you know?
She's sleeping. She must be exhausted.
Yeah, I mean, she just keeled over. Wasn't expecting that.
I bet she watched over Baul the entire time he was evolving. She probably didn't get much sleep. She probably had no idea when the hunting blades would attack either.
She was putting up a brave front, but she must have been near the end of her rope.
She's just dumb. She doesn't know how to express what she's feeling.
You don't either, Rita, I'm just saying.
And I'm really glad we're able to help Judy out.
We can finish talking with her tomorrow. We should let her sleep now. In fact, I wouldn't mind a little shut-eye myself.
As I say without moving my mouth.
We still haven't heard Judy's side, so we can't say anything, but she sure caused the guild a major headache, breaking Blastias all on her own. There's no getting around that fact.
Yeah, again, this whole concept that, you know, Judy brought up of, you know, the Hermes Blastia that was slowly causing the world to die, it was handled in a much more nuanced way in Tales of Xillia with the Spyrexes. Like, I do feel in a lot of ways Tales of Graces and Tales of Xillia were meant to be Tales games. It's like, let's take ideas from Vesperia that we didn't do very well and let's do them better. Because, like, Asbel and Graces very much feels like a Flynn analog. So, like, okay, let's actually make a game with Flynn as the main character, and then, again, Xillia, the way the Spyrexes are used is much better and more thought out than how the Blastia are used. Also, I've brought this up a lot. This is a point that I do actually have to give in Vesperia's favor. We have had so many of these scenes where the party breaks up and I get to talk to all of them. I do think that is for the game's benefit, because these always have some of the best character and heart-to-heart moments, and I do love the fact that this game has a lot of these. So that is a point in this game's favor.
Are you thinking about Judy?
Yeah. I'm wondering what we should do about her.
It's true that she broke the guild's laws and betrayed us.
Yeah, but so did you, Yuri.
I always thought that a guild's strict adherence to its own laws was what kept it together.
Well, conceptually, you're not entirely wrong,
That there
Carol.
could be no exceptions, no lenience for those who would break the laws, but...
She did what she did to save the world.
I love you, Carol.
Judy is destroying Blastia because she knows it's the right thing to do, even if it makes people hate her.
Yep. Judith didn't break our laws in order to do something bad. I know this now. I'm gonna talk with her about it and give it some more thought. I'll figure this out eventually.
Oh yeah, by the way, despite the fact that Carol was too afraid to start his own guild without Yuri's help, I like the fact that Yuri insists it's like, Carol, this was your idea, so you're in charge of the guild. This is your guild. You're the one, yeah, so again, as much as I hate Yuri, his relationship with Carol, I've said it several times, it's 10 out of 10, no notes, it's very well done, and I do like it.
Oh yeah?
Maybe if I become a little more decisive, Nan will listen to me too.
Also true. But yeah, I very much mean it. Carol here is the best character in the game, and I love the little guy. Which is funny because I used to hate him, but I'm not stupid anymore.
Oh, Yuri.
Sorry to interrupt while you were thinking.
Ever since I took Belius's life without meaning to, I've wanted to know what it means to be the child of the full moon, so the same thing doesn't happen again. I've always thought that it was my duty to know, but after what happened to Belius...
Let's see, seriously, the person considering the hottest... Oh, wait, I've already read that one.
That's how everyone is. They do something, they learn. They do something else, they learn more.
You too,
And maybe we
Yuri?
only occasionally do a
Yeah.
few murders along the way.
Maybe if I had known everything ahead of time, I wouldn't have made any mistakes.
There's only one thing I can say for sure.
2 + 2 = pineapple.
What's that?
Maybe you wouldn't have made any mistakes, but it sure would have been boring.
That's not... Let's see, like...
I
That's
really wonder.
not a healthy outlook. Like, I get what you're saying. Living a completely sterile life. He's trying to say you don't actually learn and grow from a completely sterile life, but saying it would be boring, that's a very unhealthy, very toxic way of looking at it, you know?
So does an old man past his prime fit into the picture at all?
What are you whining about, old man? Why are you past your prime?
What Judith was talking about before. Hermes Blastia, was it? Blastia created with techniques that should have been lost in the war are still active.
Still, if people know exactly when they would die, humanity would be so much worse and we would not get any shit done. You're also
You know
correct.
What this means?
I guess someone who survived the war brought either Blastia or those techniques back with him.
If that person was still using the Blastia, even though he knew it was harmful to the Earth, someone
They'd
like
be an
that
American
would have been
politician.
Quite the villain indeed.
Actually, that's another thing. Like, another reason I hated it is I felt that the politicians Yuri was murdering were too cartoonish in order to make sure Yuri didn't look like the bad guy. But quite frankly, Rigaud is just goddamn Donald Trump. So that criticism is no longer holds water. In fact, if anything, that makes this game even more relevant today than it ever was in the past. Which is another reason why I'm frustrating. Yeah, I'll see you in a bit, Val. Why I do find this game frustrating, because we could really use a game with this story nowadays.
Oh, man, don't tell me you...
Hey now, yours truly was nothing but an innocent youth on the straight and narrow back then.
Dude, you were 30 during the Great War. I wouldn't call you a youth.
I wouldn't do something like that even on my worst day.
I was just trying to trick you into giving yourself away. You're a slippery one.
Son of a... When are you gonna learn some respect for your elders?
I mean, yes. Yeah.
Don't fall overboard.
Oh, I'll be careful. Yuri, the world sure is big.
Yeah. Even though we're flying this high in the air, You still can't see everything.
If the world's this big, I guess it makes sense that there'd be so many things we don't know. It might not make that much of a difference whether I get my memories back or not.
Are you saying you'd be okay with not getting them back?
I'm saying that I'm not the only one who feels restless and anxious not knowing the truth. Everyone's worried about something. Even you and Estelle.
You think so?
Isn't that why everyone's here? Isn't that why Judy came back?
And is that why you're here too?
I don't want to be alone.
You know, you're being pretty honest today.
Yeah, I think it's
I'm
probably just the
always
anxiety.
Really? Well, maybe you are.
About to say, I'm like, that's not everyone, so there must be... Yeah, here we go. Actually, I do think it's kind of...
Is that the core from the Ceres Blastia that Judy destroyed?
Yes, it's definitely cut with a different formula than a usual core. It looks like what she said was true.
She said she wasn't too good at lying after all.
To discover that the new technique you created was bad for the world, after what must have been years of research. I can't imagine how the person who created the Hermes technique must have felt.
Well, what if it had been you?
If I found out that it hurt the Earth, I would have to do something about it. But I wouldn't destroy the Blastia like that.
What the?
Nothing. If only things weren't so complicated. I could have just blasted her into oblivion and been done with it.
Again, that's why I like Rita. She, again, throughout most of the game, she's like, as soon as I come across that Dragon Rider, I'm going to kill him. But, yeah. As soon as we actually learn a bit, she learned the truth, she's like, I still don't like what you were doing, but I'm not going to be a bitch about it. We're going to actually have an adult conversation about it.
Morning, Yuri.
Morning.
It's a beautiful morning, but even as we stand here, the air is out of balance, and our world may already be dying.
That's right.
Judy!
Well, look who's feeling better.
In the past, these slight fluctuations of the air have not negatively affected our world. There have always been beings who maintain the balance by sensing changes in the airflow, beings like Pharaoh and Baul, the Entelekea.
So the Entelekea were responsible for keeping the air balanced.
For ages, the Entelekea have regulated the air, but the recent increase has been greater than they could control.
Which is being caused by the Hermes Blastia.
And which is also why you were going around taking down as many of them as you could.
Yes, that was my mission, the path I walk with Baul, to whom I owe my life.
The path you walk.
Now some would even hunt the Entelekea for apatheia. This has made the mission of the Entelekea even more difficult.
Why is everybody so crazy about these apatheia anyway?
I'm afraid I don't have an answer. The air an Entelekea absorbs becomes condensed within its body over time. When its life is at an end, that condensed air forms a crystal, an apatheia. That's all I know. I imagine Pharaoh could shed more light on the subject, though.
So apatheia are crystals of concentrated air. If that's true and the energy could be extracted from the apatheia, it would be a source of overwhelming power, I'm sure.
Could we really do that?
I don't know.
But if that's possible, there must be tons of guys who want those things.
I bet somebody wants to use these things for the wrong reasons.
Why didn't you just tell us all this from the beginning?
Seriously, we could have avoided all this trouble if you just talked to us.
Yeah?
Am I wrong?
Even if you had known, there are things not even you could have prevented.
What do you mean?
I showed up at Heliord because Baul had sensed a disturbance in the air. Where there was a disturbance, there was sure to be a Hermes Blastia. But what I found there was not a Blastia. It was a person. That had never happened before.
So it wasn't like you were looking for Estelle in particular back at Heliord.
Yet for some reason, Baul perceived Estelle as a disturbance in the air. I had to find out why. For the sake of the path I've chosen, it was at that time that Pharaoh first appeared. He seemed to have some idea who Estelle was. My mission was to destroy all the Hermes Blastia. However, Estelle was obviously not a Blastia. I needed to make absolutely certain I made a deal with Pharaoh, and he agreed to grant me some time.
You mean...
If it became apparent that her existence posed too great a threat, then I would kill her.
You what?
Wait! Rita!
Settle down. Obviously, Judith reached a different conclusion.
All right, I get it.
Belius said you possess a heart of compassion. If you can communicate that to Pharaoh somehow, you may learn what you should do.
Hey, there's no real reason for you to fight Pharaoh anymore, right? I mean, we know the Hermes Blastia are what's causing the problem and everything.
It was never about fighting Pharaoh.
If
It
we
was about
just
getting.
make sure the Apatheia don't fall into the wrong hands...
It was about getting answers from. I know what you're doing, Rita, but
I still want to meet Pharaoh. I want to hear what he has to tell me. But please try to understand. I have to know more about myself and take responsibility for who I am.
All right.
Sorry, Yuri. I don't think we can decide what to do about Judith right away.
I promise not to leave again until things have been settled, as you said. I need to accept that responsibility myself.
Let's go and find Pharaoh. We'll finally be getting around to one of the first things we set out to do. We can work out the rest once this is finished.
There is a rocky crag in the center of the sands of Kogor. That is where Pharaoh lives. Baul can take us there.
Okay, let's go. This meeting's been a long time coming.
I can communicate with Baul, but there are still a few things you should know.
Like what?
Baul can only land on the ground in wide, open spaces, so you won't be able to dismount on steep mountain ranges or in narrow canyons.
Can't he land on water?
Water's no good either.
Really? He looks like he'd be a good swimmer.
Yeah, he'd sink like a rock.
Huh. Who knew?
But that's why we have a ship, right?
Right. If you'd like to get down onto the ocean, let me know. Baul will set our ship down there for us.
Okay, but what should we do when we want to fly again?
Use Baul's horn to call him to you.
Bowels. That's all there is to it?
Every Intellikeia has a special region in its brain that can be used for communication with a special power Critians possess.
Huh. So we can get a hold of him by using that.
Right.
basically just an in-universe reason why we always have access to the to the airship. So yeah, again, I really like this. I just really like this animation I've returned with the homemade taco bowl and crackers. That sounds delicious. But I really mean it. This is one of my favorite flying
You're familiar with Pharaoh, aren't you?
ways of flying in the
really as
Tales
scary
series.
as he
I
seems?
like the way it
Well, let's
looks.
see. Sometimes
I think
he's
that is something I
logical,
do
sometimes
miss
he's
about
emotional.
these older
He can be
Tales
really
games, because like
scary
Tales of
or
Arise,
kind.
Tales of Berseria,
All
Tales of
right, that didn't
Zestiria
help very much.
didn't have flying
One thing's certain,
machines
his powers
because they didn't have a
extraordinary,
big
even among the
open world
Intellikeia.
like these older games
Here's hoping
had.
we don't
Now,
wind
they
up
did have
looking
some
like
fast
good old
travel
Mount Temple
options,
the
to be
moment we meet
sure,
him.
but
If he can do that to
I
a
miss
mountain, there wouldn't be anything left if he
I
turned
miss
on
this
us.
style of
I
Tales
wish I
game.
would joke about scary things like that.
Why should we get scared before we even get there? Especially if he's that strong.
Wish I could take it as lightly as you and Yuri.
Like, I understand that the reason why the Tales games are the way they are now is because it's just the way technology and gaming has evolved. But I'll always admit I really do miss this type of JRPG where, you know, you're big and you're going over the world and the world's kind of shrunk down, and then you go up to the towns and they're small. Let's see. To be fair, the modern games don't have an overworld setup, right? Correct. It's more just they don't have flying machines because it's just one connected world in a sense. And well, it's fine. It's not always as, how do I put this? I like Tales of Xillia. I think Tales of Xillia is a good entry level for the franchise, but it is a little Final Fantasy 13 in places. And what I mean by that is people joke that Final Fantasy 13 should be called Final Hallway. And because it's basically just you're running through hallways throughout most of the game rather than going on a grand adventure. And in some ways, Tales of Xillia is world is kind of constructed like that. I don't think it truly hurts Tales of Xillia too much, but
I never imagined you'd be able to speak with the Entelecheia.
like Tales of Zestiria and Berseria do have better interconnected worlds,
Maybe.
but
Right, Repeat?
they
Yuri,
do still
You want to talk to Repeat?
kind of
I think the two
fall
of you
under the
understand each other
umbrella
well
of
enough already.
sort of
Pretty well figured out,
hallway-esque
but I don't know if he
design.
understands me.
Tales of Rise is the
I
same
think he
way.
feels
It's
the
not
same
all
way.
world. Correct. Again, I actually am okay with Tales of Arise's level design. Again, I prefer this, but I think it's alright. I think Tales of Arise, it's not as... Tales of Graces and Tales of Xillia are the most noticeable that you're kind of locked in just basically long hallways from one area to the next. It's not bad. Like, it doesn't ruin the game for me, but especially since I do think that Tales of Xillia is a good game, but it is
They are the oldest
noticeable.
intelligent life forms on Terralumireis.
So, they aren't monsters?
They aren't. It's said that they have a higher level of awareness than humans, though they don't have a civilization.
Shiver me timbers! The Entelecheia were smart!
The reports we get from Baul are pretty accurate.
He's a smart boy.
Now, I don't know why Baul can't speak English, because almost every other Entelecheia we meet can, except for one, but that's because he's kind of gone crazy at that. Right, how do I... There we go. Like all the Tales games I've seen so far have their characters' outfits match the personality of the one wearing it. I agree. Yeah. Alright. This... In my original playthrough, this was the scene that officially killed any enjoyment I got out of Yuri's character. Let's see if that is still the case here. Because to me, when I first played this properly
So this is where Pharaoh is?
illustrated Yuri's hypocrisy as a character. But again, let's see.
Should be. I wasn't able to see him when we came to the desert, but I think this is where we can meet him.
I hope nothing bad will happen. What if he suddenly attacks us?
I can't make any guarantees. I don't think we'll have a say in the matter.
That just means we need to do our best so nothing bad happens.
Carol, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I should go.
Pharaoh sure did pick a bleak place to live in, don't you think?
They say this area used to be covered in lush greenery.
Why did it turn into this rocky desert?
I don't know that much.
I
So,
do.
are you really going to meet him? Even though you could be killed?
Yes, I've already made peace with this decision.
Rita, you've been acting a little funny ever since hearing Judy's story on the ship. Do you have a problem with meeting Pharaoh?
I just think it'll be hard on her to hear what he has to say.
Because, again, Estelle is the first friend Rita ever had. That's why she cares as much about Estelle as she does, is because there's literally no one in her life like Estelle. Again, that is another reason why Rita does have such good chemistry with Estelle. And since Estelle is saying she's okay dying if Pharaoh says so, she's going to potentially lose something that is beyond invaluable to her, you know?
It's too late to turn back now. We've come this far after all.
Actually, speaking of which, Asbel can act in Tales of Graces. Asbel can actually get Yuri's costume as an unlockable, and man, it does not fit his character. Since Asbel wears all white, since he's meant to be a pure noble knight, and Yuri's meant to be kind of a darker, a darker vigilante. It doesn't match. You know, I just realized,
Maybe
why
he's
am
off
I
somewhere
not
taking a
running
nap.
around as Carol? I know I've been running around as Estelle because she was the first character we recruited, so I could just have her instead of Yuri, but I just realized, if Carol's the best character, I should be running around as him, not Estelle.
Pharaoh, you are here, aren't you?
Insipid poison, you appear before me at last.
I do like the effect on his voice. Let's see. I feel for Rita knowing a relationship with Estelle now. I get why she's constantly aggressive. She has no control over her friend's fate, and it's upsetting. No, and I agree. Again, I think Rita's the best written character after Carol, and I like her a lot.
So you are here. Is that how you greet all your guests, Pharaoh? By calling them names?
Yes, let's mouth off to the super powerful ancient entity that the Empire had used a super weapon to drive off.
For what reason have you come to me? Surely you are aware that I could end your existence with a mere thought.
Oh no, he's a bad dungeon master.
You talk pretty big, don't you?
Oh my god, Yuri. I also just want to say again, I hate the way Yuri draws his weapon. It's so stupid
Well, if you
looking.
really want to fight, I'd hate to disappoint you.
And Yuri died, and Carol became the main character.
Yuri, no! Everyone, please wait!
Agreed.
Estelle! Pharaoh, please hear what I have to say.
Phenomena.
Does death hold no fear for you, little one? For you gaze now into the mouth of death itself.
You were practicing that in the mirror, weren't you, Pharaoh?
I am afraid, but I'm even more afraid of dying without knowing who I
Rule of
really
thumb,
am.
if you have to brag about how powerful you are bluffing and you aren't that strong otherwise. Why say it? Also, I agree with
Valius
that.
told me I needed to meet you to learn about my destiny. I have to know just what that destiny is. I understand that I am a threat to the Entelekea, but you said that I am a poison to this world. What is this power I have? Just who is the child of the full moon? If it is true that my existence cannot be tolerated, then it's okay if I have to die. But I at least deserve to know why it is I have to die. Please tell me. I beg of you.
There was a time when this was a verdant land, sheltered by the blessing of an air crene.
So there was an air crene here. But what happened? Why did it change?
What you see are the results of too much air and its aftermath. As to why the air ran rampant, the answer lies with the poison brought by the child of the full moon.
Huh?
The power of the child of the full moon stimulates the air crene more than any blastia.
Huh?
Blastia convert air into energy by way of a formula. So if Estelle can use her healing arts without the aid of any Blastia, she must possess a formula in her very being that lets her convert air into energy. Judith was searching for Blastia that used a particular kind of formula. So, this special formula Estelle has must also consume massive amounts of air, which causes the air crene to become more active and pump out more air than they should. I had hoped my hypothesis would have been wrong.
Then
It is as she has said, with each use of her power, the child of the full moon uses far more air than the Blastia. In so doing, the imbalance of air in this world is furthered. For the planet, such an existence can only be called a poison.
I'm just gonna say it. He has a point. Like, I don't agree that Estelle needs to die, but he has a point. And I want you to keep that in mind as this conversation continues.
So you just wipe it out then? Little quick to judge, aren't you, Pharaoh?
And right there is officially when all patience I had for Yuri's character just went out the door.
This problem concerns the entire planet, and she is its cause. To do nothing would be unparalleled folly.
If the problem's with Estelle, then it's for us to solve.
It's time for Estelle, it's for us to solve. Oh my god. Okay, you know, I was gonna wait to the end of the conversation, but I can't. Who the fuck are you, Yuri? I'm dead serious. Who the fuck are you? You're a nobody from the slums in the Imperial City. And you have on multiple occasions throughout the game, put yourself as judge, jury, and executioner for the betterment of mankind. Yes, the people that you killed were undefensible monsters who were killing the innocent purely because they had power. Now, while I agree, and Val here's like, I don't agree that Estelle should die, but unfortunately, if she's going to kill the planet, life... See? Here's the thing. I agree. Estelle does not deserve death. She is a truly innocent girl who wants the best for the world. But look at this from Pharaoh's standpoint. He has been around for eons. He has seen the rise and falls of the Blastia. He has seen the Child of the Full Moon be reborn time and time again. And the fact of the matter is, Estelle's existence is going to potentially cause the entire planet to die. Does Estelle deserve death? No. But honestly, Yuri, you more than anyone else should be able to understand where Pharaoh's mindset is coming from. Do I agree? I do not want Estelle to die. I think, much in the same way with Tales of Symphonia, Lloyd is like, I'm not going to abandon the world, but I'm going to find a way to save both Colette and the world. But Yuri then just spouting, oh, who are you to make this decision for other people? You have been doing that the entire game. You hear more from Val. You can disagree with someone while conceding they have a point. It's not hard. But Yuri has spent the entire game, especially right here, saying the problem with Estelle is for us to solve by putting himself above everyone else and deeming himself as the sole authority on the issue. And the game does not properly call him out on this. Yuri is a goddamn hypocrite, and I hate his fucking guts because of it. This scene single-handedly killed Yuri as a character for me. Because from what I remember, and admittedly, yes, it has been 15 years since I have 100% played through this game, but Abby and I got about 80% of the way through the game before she had to call it quits because the story was so bad. He isn't called out for this. And if you're going to have a story with clashing ideologies, you need to properly call the main character out on this. And I know some people are saying, but Carol, as the guild leader, punishes him later. That punishment is bullshit, and it doesn't properly call out Yuri's behavior. And then later in the game, when the Flynn subordinate stabs him because she's worried that, she's a corrupting influence on Flynn, it's framed as a bad thing that she did that. I hate Yuri's character. I despise him so fucking much. He completely undoes anything of merit that this story had going for it. God, I hate him so much. Look, this story is not well told. I really feel that way because it does not stick to the interesting ideas it introduces in the first act. But it could have been salvaged if Yuri was written as less of a sanctimonious prick. Or if he had a true come to Jesus moment. But he doesn't. He doesn't. He is always framed as technically being in the right. He can make mistakes, but the game presents him as, because he's the protagonist, his heart is always in the right place. Okay. No, I don't feel better, but let's keep going.
That's right. We can't let anyone else handle it.
You shut up, Patty. You were not here originally.
The gravity of this situation is beyond your grasp.
Yes.
You don't honestly think that everything's gonna be all sunshine and rainbows if Estelle dies, do you?
Yes, that is technically a good point, Yuri.
It would at least eliminate one problem.
Also true.
Pharaoh, at Heliord I stopped myself. And again at Dawngrest I stopped you. What I thought was a Blastia turned out to be a human. Before I realized it, I had lost my way. I never thought this child could be as great a danger as you had said.
And due to your confusion, I granted you the time necessary to see things as they are. As a result, my sister Belius is now lost to me. Enough. This power will bring only ruin.
He is also correct. A story about conflicting ideologies cannot also have a protagonist being constantly in the right and always moral. Exactly. I know that Yuri is not technically a moral character because he's okay with murder, but Pharaoh is also right. Because here's the thing. If Pharaoh had killed Estelle in Dawngrest when he first met, she never would have been in a position to accidentally use her power on Bellius, causing Bellius to die. Bellius would still be alive, and the war between Palestrale and Altosk wouldn't be about to happen. I do not think Estelle deserves death. That is true. But again, look at it from Pharaoh's perspective. He tried to do the route of mercy. And there are almost no Entelekea left. And if all the Entelekea die, there will be no one left. The only reason why the world hasn't died yet is because the Entelekea are going out of their way to keep the Air Krene, in check. But there's not enough of them left. And with Bellius gone, as she was one of the most powerful Entelekea still left, there's not enough Entelekea to stop the world from going to ruin. So, yeah, look at this from Pharaoh's perspective. I don't agree. I really cannot stress. The people Yuri killed deserve to die. I really feel it was the right decision to kill them. And I don't normally take that stance. Like anyone who knows me, I very much view killing as a absolute last resort. But especially in the case of Rigaud, it was the last resort. We had caught Rigaud multiple times red-handed, and he had weaseled his way out of repercussions. So that was the only choice. Like, I really feel that was the only choice. But it was still Yuri taking it into his own hands to be judge, jury, and executioner. A right that he is now chastising another person who was seen an equally, if not, because here's the thing. Rigaud was making life awful for lots of people. But he wasn't a direct threat to the continued survival of the planet. Estelle is. I really need to restate this because I really want to make it clear I am not trying to chastise Yuri for what he did, because again, I think it was necessary. But it is so hypocritical for Yuri to take the high ground in this situation when he has no leg to stand on.
Not sure I understand all this, but if her power's the problem, why can't she just not use it?
Okay, I actually, this is an interesting talking point, and I do like where this goes.
There can be no guarantee she will not try to use the power.
And that's also a good point, because if you remember, after Estelle used her power and accidentally killed Bellius, Yuri, in actually a good scene in my opinion, to prove her point she wasn't a bad person, sliced one of his tendons in his arm open that would have caused him to bleed to death, and Estelle just immediately stood up and helped them. Because she's a kind person. She can't stand by and let people suffer. Again, that was a good moment. And it was a good character moment for Estelle. And it's a good dilemma here.
That's true. She does have trouble turning a blind eye to things happening around her.
Again, an interesting discussion to be had.
Someday she will surely use her power to help someone.
Mm-hmm.
However, as long as she keeps that spirit of compassion, she cannot only be seen as harmful.
That's a great point, Judy. Because I do think at the end of the day, that is an interesting debate. It's like, okay, this is technically causing harm, but it's also causing lots of good. So is it truly all bad? Again, that's a good talking point.
She is not like a Blastia. I know that you can feel the difference.
Yeah, no, again, Judith, this is good stuff, Judith. This is the conversation that needs to happen here.
Compassion alone will not save this world.
Also, a really good point.
Listen, Pharaoh, I get that you've thought all this through with everybody's best interest in mind.
You shut the fuck up.
But why doesn't that world have a place for Estelle?
Okay, I can't actually criticize that point. It's just his arguments leading into this is kind of hogwash.
It is sometimes necessary to remove a part to save the whole.
Which is also true. That is true.
I don't buy that for a second.
Okay, you shut the fuck up. Just as an example, I have known people who suffered from diabetes or have gotten injured and had gangrene that a limb amputation was the only way possible because otherwise their foot, their arm, whatever, was going to turn septic and would kill them as a whole. So yes, well, it's a fantastic idea to believe that everyone who deserves to live can be saved. There are some situations where, yeah, you do need to remove a part to save the whole.
What makes you so high and mighty that you're the one to decide who gets cut and who doesn't?
Fuck you, Yuri! You have been doing that the entire game, you prick.
We have endured the anxiety of existence for far greater a span than you can conceive.
Mm-hmm.
Such words mean nothing from those who call this world home for but a fleeting moment.
Okay, now that is some elitism on the part of people who do live longer. And it is something I have always found fascinating about worlds like D&D, where dragons live so much longer, so they do have a bit of a detachment from reality, you know? But
Pharaoh, please listen. The important thing is finding a way to stop the excessive air, correct?
thank you, Judith.
We still have time left to search for such a thing.
Also, thank you, Judith.
Judith.
Again, this is something I do like about Tales of Xillia. It does this similar idea, and it has a similar resolution. It's like, look, we don't have a plan, we don't have a resolution way to fix it now, but we have time to fix it. So it's like, give us a chance to fix it before it has to result in bloodshed. Anyway.
And if the effects of Estelle's power reach their absolute limit, I will kill her as promised. You should have no complaint with this.
Hey, Judith, are you serious?
I'm sure brave Vesperia will come up with something before that happens, right?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, of course we will.
Well, score one for Judith, so that settles it. If we humans are to blame for Estelle's problem and bringing on the apocalypse, then it's up to us to make things right.
Okay, that's a better argument,
If
Yuri.
we give it all we've got and still blow it, you can slow roast us on a grill for all I care.
You have changed. If you were still as before.
Have I? That is nice to hear.
Very well. Be ever mindful, though, that time is fleeting.
See, again, Pharaoh.
Wait! If the formulas are causing the excessive air, then there must have been times when this happened in the past. I mean, the Blastia were a product of an ancient civilization.
There exist those who have inherited the sins of the past. If any yet can speak of what occurred in the days of old, it is they.
He's gone.
Thanks for everything, Yuri.
Why are you thinking Yuri? Yuri escalated the situation. It's Judith who defused the situation.
Judith, you too.
Okay, I take back my complaints.
No problem. But hey,
What?
it's okay if I have to die? What the hell was that?
Oh, shut the fuck up, Yuri. She showed a level of maturity and acceptance more than you ever have.
I'm sorry.
I don't want to hear that again.
Yuri, hear it again.
I'm sorry.
And now, rather than comforting her, he's shaming her. Look, I
Man,
don't
I
agree
was really
with Estelle
worried there
dying,
for a while.
but she did a very mature, very rational thing, a very brave thing. And Yuri's giving her shit for it?
We were pretty lucky that bruiser was in a mood for conversation.
Rita, please just punch Yuri once straight in the face. Yeah, no, that's my biggest beef with Yuri as a character. There are several points where he quote-unquote gets punished. Oop, all right, let me swap controllers. but it's pathetic. It's the equivalent of a slap on the wrist.
Poor Raven's heart can't handle that sort of stuff anymore.
You're pretty gutless for an old man.
Jeez, Patty, you've really got nerves of steel.
If he really wanted to kill Estelle, he'd have attacked us immediately. And that's what I can't figure out.
I imagine Pharaoh was conflicted as well. He hid himself from us in the desert to see just what we were made of.
Huh. Maybe he wasn't as bad as we thought after all.
No, I actually like Pharaoh. He's barely in the game, but I do like Pharaoh.
You might be right. I get the feeling he'd do whatever's necessary when push comes to shove.
That sounds like you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
But what are we gonna
I think
do,
that's
Yuri?
another
What
thing
we
is that
said?
there are so many characters in this game that are meant to be analogs for Yuri's character arc. And he's just always bitchy, and I know in real life it's realistic that someone doesn't like seeing negative qualities in themselves and other people, but it's not very nuanced.
We're going to fix the problems the air's causing, and that's all.
That's easier said than done. We're pretty much at square one, you know.
Mm-hmm. And no one wants to be at square one.
Well, it is if you're having a slow race. You do if you're
There's
having
no
a slow
doubt
race.
that the formulas are related somehow to the air getting used up. We need to find out about the ancient Blastia, and if they went berserk or not. If we had that kind of information, it might give us a clue.
Ask those who have inherited the sins of the past about the days of old. Or at least that's what Pharaoh said.
And so this is kind of what I was talking about. First half of the game, or the first chunk of the game, was dealing with a lot of politics and corruption. But as soon as Pharaoh shows up, while there is still that, the corruption is still part of it, don't get me wrong. But it now becomes this environmentalist game, which, it could be fine. I don't actually have a problem with games having environmentalist messages. It now puts the political corruption on a bit of a back burner. And the end result is, rather than developing one of these ideas really well and really compelling, they're both just kind of half-baked.
The Critia were the ones to invent the Blastia. In other words, we need to ask a Critian who is still familiar with the old stories.
Yeah, the Critia are often credited as the inventors of the Blastia.
There isn't much left of the Critian city of Timza, though.
It'd be a lot easier if there were more cities.
The hidden city of Miorzo. It is far older than Temza, and the birthplace of the Critia. The first Blastia also originated there.
Really? Well, what do you know? You wouldn't happen to know where this Miorzo might be, would you, darling?
I've heard that name somewhere. There was a Critian in Ospio. I'm sure they mentioned something about it.
Oh. I like Rita being so logical and scientific, but it's clear emotional driving her more than anything, so punch the asshole talking shit about your only friend. No, I agree.
Do you think that person might still be there?
Well, there's no harm in checking it out.
Judith, are you coming with us?
I should. We still have the issue of the guild to straighten out.
So, to Ospio then.
Okay. The scene, once we get to Ospio, we're going to get a scene that I have very mixed feelings on. Because on the one hand, it's one of
That stuff
Carol's
about the
best
balance of the
scenes,
world is
but
pretty hard to take
we'll
in.
get there.
Yeah. I hadn't even been outside the capital until just a while ago myself. And now we're here talking about the fate of the world. You never know what life will bring you.
But isn't that what makes it interesting?
I don't think we can afford to be that relaxed anymore. Estelle doesn't have much time left.
What's the harm? It's not as if acting all serious is gonna solve anything.
Besides, Estelle
So
will
why
notice
wasn't
if
Rena
we
and
look
Estelle
all
the main
worried.
characters for this? They're most
Well,
interesting here and have
maybe
their own
so,
conflicting
but-
ideology of
We
faith
won't
and
forget what
science.
Pharaoh said.
That would have been
Relax.
interesting, yeah.
I know, it's just...
Like I
Estelle's
said,
got it the worst.
Yuri,
If we get too down about this, we won't be much help to her.
they needed to focus almost exclusively on Yuri and Flynn if they were going to be the main characters the way they are, you know? But by adding this extra end of the world stuff, it gets muddled and it's just not interesting. Honestly, whether Estelle or Rita or heck, Carol would have been a more interesting... No, Carol would have been a more interesting main character as well. Because imagine just a little kid trying to get by. He teams up with people like Rita and Estelle. It could be like Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII, but done a little better. And I'm saying that as someone who actually likes Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII. For those who don't know, Vaughn is a very much mocked character in the Final Fantasy franchise. because, well, one, the voice acting of him isn't very good. That's part of it. But it's because even though he's the POV character when the game first starts, he's not actually the main character. I would argue the main character of Final Fantasy XII is actually Ash. But because of that, a lot of people just feel he kind of is just kind of lame compared to other... Like, I mean, again, he's the character that you start the game with. He's your POV character, but he's not the story's main character. If anyone's wondering, I am just filling the map in real quick around the border because I'm anal that way. Because, yeah, it would be interesting having having Carol as the POV character and being like, you're just a kid that's traveling with the people who are actually affecting the world, you know? That could be fun. So then it's like, it's still all, you know, Rita and Estelle who are making things go forward, and the game could focus heavily on their dynamic, but you're experiencing it through Carol's perspective. Or heck, like you even said, why not just have Estelle and Carol, or Estelle and Rita be the protagonists? Because Yuri only works as a main character when it's focusing on him and Flynn, which doesn't happen enough because there's so much else going on in this game. And even when it does, I don't think it's done well. It's just, there's not enough nuance between Flynn and Yuri's relationship. Because, yeah, don't get me wrong, Flynn is not always supposed to be in the right. He is still allowing bad things to happen because he's trying to rise within the ranks of the knights, and he's not wrong. If he just went full on against orders like Yuri did, because Yuri used to be a knight, he'd get thrown out and then he couldn't affect the changes he needs to from within. But there are certain points where it's like, can you truly claim the moral high ground if you look the other way? Like, even if you're not the one who... Like, for example, Flynn is very much partially to blame for Bellius dying because he participated in causing strife in Palestrale. It's like, yes, he was just following orders or whatever, but it's like, you can only... Following orders is not an excuse. Like, you can only really say, I'm sorry, I didn't know, I was just following orders, to a very, 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 very limited point. Because after that, it's like, no. Orders are not, you should know better. Because I think it's especially important nowadays in this day and age that plenty of Nazi soldiers were just following orders. Following orders is never an excuse. The number defense has been called out long ago, and it's in so much media. Yep. And again, honestly, let's see, I'd love to have a cozy sleep in a big caravan like that. I guess it does sound great. Again, honestly, this is one of those... They really, 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 really needed some more rewrites to make this game story work. Because, yes, Flynn allows some bad stuff to happen in the sake of, I gotta follow orders until I get promoted, and that's bullshit, but doesn't necessarily mean that what Yuri is doing is justifiable either, and they needed more moments where it's like, yeah, you both fucked up, guys. But now that you realize that you both fucked up, now it's time for you to come together and make it better, you know? Okay, so we are about to get to one of the two scenes where Yuri technically gets chastised, and I have thoughts. I have many,
Another long day.
many
Let's save the
thoughts
manhunt
about
for
this
tomorrow.
scene.
I second that. How long's it been since I've slept in a proper bed?
There's proper beds on the boat. You shut up.
Well, I suppose we can all stay at my place.
Wait, there's something I want to take care of first.
You mean me?
Carol,
This is a guild thing. Best for us not to get involved.
I've thought about it a lot. What we should do, like, as a guild.
This is one of Carol's best scenes, I will admit.
And I realized we have to figure out a few things if we're gonna keep this guild going.
It sounds like you've decided what we should do.
Well, we said it before. The most important thing is obeying the guild's laws. Those who break the laws suffer strict punishment, even if they're friends or family. They say that's the source of a guild's pride.
Yes.
So what I'm thinking is, we all have to receive punishment.
What do you mean?
I didn't know that Judith was fighting for our planet all on her own. But even though I didn't know, I still failed to help a fellow guild member. So I gotta accept my punishment. Yuri?
Me?
Maybe you were trying to follow your own path, but you still kept things hidden from us. There's no way that can be for the good of the guild.
Well,
So you gotta be punished too.
Thank you, Carol.
Now he's stretching it.
No, he's
Laws are
not.
important. What if someone does the right thing, but still breaks the law? Should they be punished? To be honest, I just don't know yet. So that's why we should all just accept our punishment and start over from scratch. What do you think?
I can't promise I won't have my secrets in the future.
Well, if that's the way it is, if you can't trust us, then there's nothing you can do. That would be my fault.
And what if I destroy a Blastia that our guild was planning on using again? That would be breaking the law that says I should act in the interest of the guild.
But you'd also be acting for the sake of the world. Guilds aren't there just so people can obey their laws. I think we can let that slide.
Doesn't that sort of make your laws meaningless?
I mean, that is a good point.
I've never heard of a guild like this before, but you've got me interested, I'll give you that much.
there's no need to be such a stickler for the rules. Gotta be more relaxed.
Carol, you're just full of surprises. I had thought plenty about myself and what I should be doing, but I might not have considered how my actions would affect you guys. This is a way of settling things I didn't even realize existed.
I just wanted to keep traveling with all of you. I just wanted each of our own paths to be the same as Brave Asperius.
Sounds all right with me. You heard the man, Judy. I guess that's where we stand.
You really are some of the oddest people I've ever met. But
No,
I suppose I can manage to put up with you.
All right then, one more time. Brave Vesperia, full out!
They're just making it up as they go, aren't they? Is that all a guild is?
The Don ran his guild just a teensy bit differently.
There's something beautiful about this way, though. Brave Vesperia sure is nice.
Do you want to join too, Patty?
Can't right now.
Oh yeah. You still have to get your memory back.
So, what about the punishment?
Oh yeah, I almost forgot.
Looks like you guys are on Critian researcher detail. We'll be relaxing at my place.
Hey, why do you get to decide?
Excuse me? Did I hear a complaint?
No, ma'am.
No.
okay. Let's watch this scene and then
Carol,
I have
were you
thoughts.
thinking by yourself this whole time about what to do with Judy?
Yeah, it
What
was
do you mean,
pretty much
Judy?
all I thought
About
after
both,
we left
about you
Lord
too,
Apollica.
asswipe.
That, and about what you did to Rago and Cumor.
You should have brought that up in the
Really?
conversation.
It's nice to hear you thought about me that much, even when I wasn't around.
Yeah, I wasn't sure at first. What was right, what was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
Yeah,
have
no,
the
I
dog
love
to thank
Rita.
for setting me straight.
Like I said, I think Rita's the
Without
second
dog's last
best written
words,
character in this
I never would
game.
have found answers to the questions I had.
You gotta stand
I definitely
on
think
your
she's
own
probably the
2
most
feet.
likable character, because
Yeah,
I do think
I was thinking
Carol's
about
written
what that
better,
meant. And before I
but
knew it, I wasn't
he's
thinking
not
about
as
what was
lovable
right.
as Rita.
I was thinking about what I want to do.
And that helped you decide what to do with the guild.
Yeah. So here's to fresh starts.
Okay.
To fresh starts.
So, I have got mixed feelings about that cutscene. On the one hand, I think it's a good growth moment for Carol. It's a good step in his arc. It's not Carol's best scene, but it's one of his best scenes. The problem I have with it is this is the only real punishment and social stigma Yuri receives when it comes to him killing Rago and Cumore. I mean, yes, Flynn's like, okay, I've got to bring you in, but it's not handled well, especially since Estelle vindicates him immediately afterwards, saying it's not. No, I know you only did it because you had a reason, or blah blah blah, or something like that. What's the word I'm looking for? So yeah, on the one hand, this is really great for Carol's character arc, but it's absolute ass for Yuri's character, because this is, again, the closest we get to Yuri being chastised and called out for his actions, but it's not, the scene's not about him. It's for character development. Well,
That wasn't bad, Carol.
I have to say,
don't get me wrong, that's a reason, that's the reason I didn't like Carol in my first playthrough, but
Should I?
he grows out of it. That's his character arc.
Even if you don't ask, the answer is still
And
clear to you.
admittedly, because I know how it ends,
Even so.
and like his best scene is officially where he's like, he grows his backbone and whatnot.
Travel with you.
Oh, excuse
If I
me.
didn't think they were, I wouldn't be here.
He's one of those, like, Tales games are often better on the second playthrough, because you can recognize when there's like, oh, I now see what this was building up for. This wasn't just there for the sake of being there or whatever. I mean, it's part of the reason why in Tales of the Abyss, I really hated its protagonist. Its protagonist is named Luke, by the way, so I'm sure that was part of it. Luke is, at least at first, one of the more insufferable protagonists, but he has one of the best character arcs out of any Tales games. So he's actually a lot better on a second playthrough, because if you know where his story arc is going, you can actually appreciate where he started out, whereas like an initial playthrough, he just comes across as annoying. Now, you could argue that is not the best way for, a media to be consumed, and yeah, fair enough. Wait a second. This is... I'm not spending gold. Oops. Still don't think I am. Anyway. But yeah, he is very much, in my opinion... No, let's see. No, let's... No. Let's see. Still can't really... Wait. Oh, right, it's just straight up... Oh yeah, that does look kind of silly, though. I'm just debating, it's like, okay, now that he's really stepped up as the boss, should I actually have him wearing his Brave Vesperia armor? Oh yeah, I forgot. He's got... Yeah, what is all of his again? Totally forgot about that. Just a question. I noticed these Tales games always have these big parties of people, but only like 3 or 4 at best get real characterization. Why are the parties so big? Honestly... That's a question that me and Abby have been asking for a while. Like, honestly, I'm partially convinced, like, for example, Tales of the Abyss, Tales of Xillia 1, they only have 6 party members, and personally, I think that's a good number. honestly, I think it's just an RPG trope. Because I know, like, there's some other games where you get even more party members and whatnot that, like, aren't Tales games. I think it's just a trope. I don't know. I don't know. And this one in particular does have a bit of a problem because because the game originally had 7, technically 8 playable characters, but this remake adds another one. So now it has 8/9. No, actually, no, because Flynn now becomes a permanent player character in this version, so there are 9 characters. Now, on the one hand, Rapide's not a character, so 8 characters. Yeah, honest truth is, I think it's a mistake. My thought was that it's for gameplay reasons. A bigger party means more variety and fighters can use, and everyone can have a custom party for their playstyle. I think that is the exact reason, really. It's just, it's not the best from a character standpoint. Because, again, when Abby and I were playing through Tales of Symphonia together a few years ago, we both played it when I was young, but I don't think Abby ever finished it like I did. And we were kind of talking about how we felt about the characters, and we both agree that while Persea and Regal definitely have some interesting character beats, they're the least interesting characters because of how late in the game they're introduced. And very little would change if they were either cut from the game or their roles were reassigned to other characters in the game. That way there could be some more tight writing for everybody. Now again, I do think Tales of Symphonia is the game with the largest cast that does the best of making everyone the most interesting. Not completely. I still think Regal's a bit of a weak character. I feel for him, but he's a weaker character.
It's the name of the city that they talk about in the Cridian legends. That's all I know. Location? I don't know where it is. And even if I knew, I don't think it will be of any good to tell it to someone other than a Cridian.
Right.
Good day.
Good day, my sister.
Judith.
I'm Tord.
You wouldn't happen to know anything about Miorza, would you? I'd like to go there.
But yeah, I actually think that is probably what it is, because like in Tales of Xillia 2, there are 9 playable characters. But since 8 of them are returning characters, they already are well established, so it's not as problematic. And that game does have some crazy combinations you can do, and it is a lot of fun. So
I need to know where Miorzo is located and how I can get there.
Even if you reach the city, there won't be anything for you to see there. But what do you plan on doing there anyway?
Is not a Cridian's interest in her own ancestral city reason enough to go?
That is an acceptable reason, but I'm afraid I don't know anything about where it could be.
I've heard your name before, Tort. You help guide those Cridians remaining on Earth up to the heavens. Will you not tell me because these humans are with me?
Our ancient law states that we cannot show anyone but our brothers and sisters the way to Miorzo.
Shouldn't it be a matter of whether they can be trusted rather than whether they're Cridian or not? At the very least, these humans can be trusted.
I shall ask once more, why do you seek Miorzo?
The world is headed towards some bad things, all thanks to Blastia. We want to go to know what happened in the past and how we can stop it. We want to help everyone, not just the Cridians. How's that?
yeah, Yuri, why can't you just let the people, other people do the talking?
Very well. I do not know if you'll find the answers to your questions, but I will show you the way.
Thanks, Knuckles.
First of all, you'll need a special bell to open the path to Miorzo.
A bell?
Indeed. It is hidden in one of the southern caverns on the continent of Hippionia.
But isn't Hippionia really big?
The cavern is on a shore where red flowers bloom. If you use that as your guide, I'm sure you shall find it.
If I remember correctly, going to this shore was added for the remake or the special edition. I believe originally we could just go to Miorzo.
Also, the door in the back of that cavern can only be opened by us Cridians.
What do you mean?
Don't worry.
If Yuri is the main character, he unfortunately has to do a lot of the talking. He's not the blank slate MC. You know what? I'm going to give you that one, Val. That's a good point.
And? What are we supposed to do with that bell?
Because, again, that is a problem that Vaughn had, is that because, I mean, he's technically not the main character, but he's the POV character. But because Ash and Balthier do most of the talking, he does kind of get lost in the shuffle until, like, outside of a handful of scenes.
Relax.
At the end of the game.
Humans are always so impatient. Once you have the bell, you must travel to Egathor Forest.
The Egathor Forest? Isn't that on Hippionia too? I've heard of it before.
Yes, the sacred land of the Cridians is located there, so that's where the door to Miorzo is.
If you use the bell there, the door shall open. There is, however, a problem.
A problem?
Yes. Egathor Forest is being devastated by a mysterious group. In addition to their overwhelming numbers, they also carry with them strange Blastia. I cannot fathom their motives, but this is certainly a matter of great concern.
So if we go to Miorzo, we have to do something about them?
Exactly. We need you to restore peace to our sacred land.
Gotcha. So we get that bell, beat the mysterious group senseless, ring the bell, and the door opens. That sound right?
Indeed.
I understand. Thank you.
May the road rise up to meet you, sister.
See, too many games don't understand that a blank slate can't work for grand stories with big characters you need to interacting with. Yeah, that's a big
And
reason.
as
I mean,
well,
I
let's go
know
back to where everyone's
in
waiting.
Fire Emblem Three Houses, they worked the fact that, what's his name? Byleth was a blank slate into his character story arc, but they went a little too hard to the point where I just don't give a shit about Byleth. Like, if you want a blank slate character, you need to do something where they don't talk kind of like the main characters in, like, Dragon Age Origins or Kingdoms of Amalur, but you're able to inform their character based on the responses you make, you know? So it's like they're a blank slate, but there's ways in universe to inform their character, if you know what I mean.
We've got a lead in a place called Egathor Forest.
I'm pretty sure it's on the west side of Hippionia, to the south of here.
So, Miorzo's in that forest?
No, but a door is.
Huh? A door? What do you mean?
There's a door there that leads to Miorzo.
We were told the bell that opens the door is hidden in a cavern on a shore in Hippionia, where red flowers bloom.
It'd be fastest to just go and check it out.
First, let me rest.
Perhaps we should get some rest before leaving?
See, Persona 3, 4, and 5 actually have it down pat, I agree, because all the MCs actually have personality. Just see it based on the responses, how they describe items around them. No, I actually completely agree.
But
That's a fantastic.
You don't really have a choice.
That, yeah, I do
Alright,
think.
Then I'm gonna walk around
It's
town
like,
and
well-
search for clues about the trip.
Hey, hold it. You should really... Hey, she's gone already?
Well, I admit, out of those three games, the only one I
Anyway,
actually
once you've gotten
like
some
is
rest,
4.
let's go look
I
for
do
that
agree
cavern.
with you on that. But, yeah. That's just because I don't really like playing. Like, the gameplay loop of the Persona games is not my favorite. Not that I think it's bad, just not my favorite. Okay. Because, again, I can acknowledge, I'm like, it's just not for me. Because, again, something I have kind of had to kind of learn as I got older is there's a difference between something being bad and something just simply not being for
Did you
me,
find
you
any
know?
clues about the Maristella?
There were a lot of books, but none of them were about Ifrid.
Like Persona 3 when it's the female MC because she has way more personality. Yeah, and I am actually thinking of taking Edgelord through Persona 3, albeit Abby's going to be playing with me because, again, my patience is limited for it. Just because I definitely think that's the Persona game Edgelord would fit into the best. Plus, since the main character Persona 3 kind of dies, it is kind of a good way for Edgelord to exit the series, you know?
Well, duh. This city only has books about Blastia.
Oh well, looks like
That's why I'm kind of disappointed that the remaster for Persona 3 that came out
Did you just say Ifrid?
in the last couple years did not include the female protagonist.
Hey, you. You that girl they've been saying is Ifrid's grandchild? So, you neither admit nor deny it. And I guess it must be true. Interesting. So you're the grandchild of that bastard who disgraced the guilds. You just look like a regular brat to me.
Fuck off.
Why don't you say something? Can't even defend your own grandfather? Oh yeah, I guess that's something no one could ever defend, huh? Considering all the nasty stuff he did.
I also think this is really stupid. Look, I get it. Ifrid allegedly did a lot of shit, but I don't understand why there's so much hate to Patty specifically. I don't recommend going through the Persona games if you already don't like them. They're already test your patience with people who like them. Well, that's why Abby's going to be the one who's actually playing the games.
How can you say such horrible things?
So PS3 is horribly Persona. Oh yeah, I have played through Persona 3.
How? Well, because it's the truth.
Not about Patty, you punk.
Hey, wait. You guys must be Siren's Fang's newest guild members, right?
We're Brave Vesperia.
Brave Vesperia? What a funny name. What kind of a guild is that?
One that...
Well, it's, you see...
Why? You gonna give us some good jobs if we tell you?
I don't have any jobs to give shady thugs involved with Ifrid like you guys. Brave Vesperia, huh? It's good for nothing trash like you who've been tarnishing what it means to be a guild.
By the way, we're in an Empire-controlled town. Why is there guild politics here? The entire point of the guilds is that they abandoned the Empire.
You're the good-for-nothing trash who's been tarnishing the name of the city.
Again, this is an imperial city.
You're Rita Mordio?
Looks like there's a lot more vulgar pieces of trash than the last time I was here. Geez, it'll be a real nuisance if anyone thinks I'm associated with you. Let's get out of here.
Wait!
No.
Oh? Was there something else you wanted to say?
No.
But what are we gonna do? I'm pretty sure that guy's gonna spread rumors.
And?
I don't care. If that's the kind of thing that could destroy our guild, we would have been finished a long time ago.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
We should just let people say what they're going to say.
Wasn't our destination ashore in Hippionia where red flowers bloom?
Ah, yeah.
Then let's get going.
Okay, you know what? I can't stand the Brave Vesperia armor. It looks too stupid. So I'm taking it off. I think it doesn't help that, at least to me, his helmet looks like he's wearing a baseball cap on backwards. So let's go with... Yeah, let's just do that. Sorry, now I'm like, what is everyone's second costumes again? And do I actually want to kind of mix things up now? Or do I want to just keep people in their I think I may just want to keep it, but I think I just might want to keep most of them in their normal attire. Okay, what about Estelle? You know what? What do you got for me, Yuri? Right. Oh yeah, that's the main villain from Tales of Hearts. Very appropriate. Yeah, I think we're gonna keep you in your normal outfit. I'm debating between this one and her default outfit. You can stay for now. I don't remember liking any of your... Well, that one's alright. Right. Yeah, there were a lot of Tales of the Abyss costumes in this. Well, but it makes sense. Tales of the Abyss was the last new one that was released before this. Do you even have any? I don't remember. Yeah, you do. Fuck it, we're doing that one. I don't remember liking any of your other ones, but I do kind of want to double check. Nope, that's your... Actually, that one's alright. Oh, yeah! Again, so this is from a character from Tales of Symphonia 2. It's a terrible game, but that was an I know that's from something else, but I can't think of what. Yeah, I still think this one looks her best. I do. Yeah, no. Okay. Yep. We're gonna do that. Okay. Alrighty, let us save. Okay, so we need to go to the continent directly south of here. So many costumes, but none of them look that good. I don't disagree. Like, some of the best costumes I don't have unlocked. Because, like, admittedly, Yuri's best costume I don't have unlocked yet. But it's a costume that's infamously difficult to unlock. And you need to, like, spend the entire game on... I've already passed the point where I could have unlocked it, if I'm being honest. Because I'm like, I'm not going to waste time with that. Let's just play. But... And then, unfortunately, after this game, all the good costumes started becoming paid DLC, which sucked. It's like, yeah, they still had a handful of costumes you'd unlock in-game, but microtransactions took over. Because God hates us, and he shows it with microtransactions. Okay, they said we need to go to a place with red flowers, where red flowers bloom. There it is.
This is it, right?
It matches the description Tort gave us, but...
A shore in Hippionia where red flowers bloom, right?
Maybe Tort tricked you guys.
Either that or we came to the wrong place.
Wait. I can feel a draft coming from in there.
The inside must be hollow.
Out of the way! It's open.
Okay, actually, that outfit's colors don't match Estelle's color profile. So we're gonna change. We're gonna get her out of that.
What kind of a nasty person does something like that?
Perhaps they sealed it up to keep fishy people like you from getting in.
Whoa! You're really gunning for old Raven? Sometimes you can be so mean, Jude.
What's wrong, Patty?
It's nothing. I was just a little scared of the dark.
You're scared of the dark? You really are a
The
kid.
problem with saying if you don't buy microtransactions, they'll stop doing it is that these things are targeted to the neurodivergent and addicted who can't just not buy it. They're I agree, because
Look who's talking.
I've spent...
Scared, you could...
I've fallen victim. Like, I do engage in microtransactions as much as I know I shouldn't, because there are... It's just, there are a lot of things where it's like, I want that, or it's like, I need that, or etc., you know? Because, like, I bought a bunch of the DLC costumes for Zestiria and Berseria, even though I knew full well I really shouldn't. Because, I mean, you just summed it up right there, Val. I mean, heck, when I first started playing the game Smite, I ended up spending so much in-game currency, or spending so much money in-game on costumes and characters. Because I played Smite when it was still in beta. So when they offered a limited time deal for beta players where they could pay like $30 to unlock every character that would ever be released for the game forever, I had already spent enough of the money in-game that they had just gave it to me for free. America keeps fighting tooth and nail for gacha and loot boxes to not be labeled as gambling so they can continue to market to kids. It is gambling. Like, it's bullshit that it's not. Yeah. This is the reason why I'm pretty sure we never, coming here was never part of the original Xbox release.
Wait, these aren't graves, are they?
Maybe we really did come to the wrong place.
But even if that's the case, why are there so many here? Why?
I can't believe how many there are.
I never imagined we'd find a place like this while we were searching for the home of the Cridia.
There's something written over there.
Here lie the victims of the Black Hope Massacre. We mourn their deaths, and in this place, lay their souls to rest.
These are all victims of the Black Hope Massacre!
Yeah, Carol, we just said that.
And these are the graves of people who were killed by Ifrit?
Yes, but I had no idea there could be so many. Patty!
It's gambling, but legally, if it isn't labeled gambling, they don't have to change the age rating and marketing. Yep.
I never thought. Patty.
No matter how you look at it, this is just too much. You can't expect a child to accept such a cold reality at her age.
I wonder who built these graves.
Who knows? Maybe there were some survivors of the massacre.
But this is so horrible.
I'm going to look for the key to Miorzo. You all should stay here.
What? You're going by yourself?
We can't bring Patty along when she's like this, can we?
There aren't any signs of monsters here. We should go too. Repeat, take good care of Patty, okay?
Right. Yeah, Patty's not in the party, so I can't see if that's better for her.
Looks like a dead end.
Maybe the old man was right. We really did come to the wrong place.
Stop being such a
There
negative
weren't any
Nancy.
shores with red flowers, were there?
Do you mind if I take a look at that? Illusion, be undone. It is I of the chosen people whom you have anxiously awaited.
Speak, friend, and enter.
A door?
What?
The door!
The Cridians possess an ancient power known as the Negig that can read the information in objects.
And I don't think
I
it's
used
ever
that
mentioned
power
again.
to learn a secret phrase that would remove the enchantment that hid this door.
I see. So this is what Tort meant when he said the door could only be opened by a Cridian.
Now, let's go inside.
So, I've been working on a video with both Abby and a friend of mine. I'm not gonna say her name, because... but... It's basically history of Edgelord. So to do it, I've been having to rewatch my old Edgelord videos, and it's like, wow, I forgot about so many of these things that were part of. So Judith has innate appraisal skills. Yes, she does.
It's just a coincidence.
Maybe. I bet the person who built that graveyard didn't know the bell was hidden here.
I guess that's to be expected with the door being invisible.
Maybe the person who closed the entrance to this cave was the one who built the graveyard.
What for?
Who knows? Maybe to prevent grave robbing. Or maybe there was some other reason they had to hide this place.
It is true that Tort never said anything about the cave entrance. You might be right.
So someone went to all the trouble of burying those people in such a remote location? Is that really all it is?
I don't know, but we've got the bell we came for, so let's go back and see Patty.
And, well, A, it's kind of made me be like,
Really kill all those people?
Maybe he did.
Patty.
I'm still very
She was
early
but
into
she
edgelord
wasn't at all
life,
prepared.
but
right. Let's hurry back.
it's maybe like, I want to play Biomutant again. I want to play Skyrim again. But it is very interesting going back, because I realized there were a number of things that I remembered just incorrectly. Because, like, for example, Thamu, I flipped in my memory which mount Thamu was in Biomutant. So actually going back and realizing, like, wait, that's... Oh, I got it backwards.
Thank you, Rapide. We got what we came for. Can you stand up, Patty? We're going.
Are you going already?
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Don't push yourself, okay?
Cypher.
Can you come with us? Could she be?
I think it also didn't help that for the most part in the original, I mean, okay, yes, the original Biomutant playthrough was not an atypical edgelord playthrough, since edgelord wasn't really a thing, like a real proper thing until Skyrim. But I very specifically, since I played Biomutant twice in a row, once doing the good path as the janitor, once doing the dark path as the edgelord. But I very specifically went out of my way to get the Rhino mount as early as possible, so I could use the Rhino for the majority of the game. So, yeah, I think that was part of the reason why I didn't really remember Thamu too well, because for the most part, I just ended up using Pepper throughout most of the game.
All we've got left to do is to ring
Which
the
was
bell
the
we just
Rhino.
got in Agathor Forest.
I agree.
Yuri, I need to talk to you.
What is it?
I'd like to say goodbye to all of you now. It's time for us to part ways.
You sure?
Why so sudden?
You don't like traveling with us anymore?
No, that's not it.
If you feel uncomfortable around us because of what you learned about Ifried, then
Just don't want to cause you guys any more trouble, even if you don't mind. Well, I do.
Patty, what kind of nonsense is that?
Rita?
Every single one of these guys causes nothing but trouble.
Good point.
Do you really think you're any more of a troublemaker than the rest of us?
Rita.
If it's really just so you can focus on what you need to do, then I won't try to stop you.
It'll be lonely around here without you.
we've come this far together. There's no need to hold back.
We crossed the desert and fought so many battles together. Besides, you don't need to give an answer here and now, do you?
Plus, if you leave us now, we won't be able to pilot the ship, and we'll be in real trouble.
So let's pressure you into staying.
Just think about it after your emotions have calmed down. You can pick what you want to do then. Until
Fair.
that time, though, why don't you come with us?
Okay.
All right. It's off to Agathor Forest.
We just gotta get rid of those suspicious guys and ring the bell, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain in the original game, we just went straight to Agathor Forest. There was no bell involved.
Do you think Patty is all right?
Memories, knowledge of what the geezer did. Forced to
Wait,
face
why?
reality.
What the fuck is with Raven's sound mixing? He's just like
Looks so miserable.
randomly super low in the mix.
Need to help her.
It's best to leave her alone for now.
Rapide. What's troubling you, Rapide? Rapide. The thing is,
Pooch is the best companion in times like these.
I hope that she can find some measure of peace this way.
No, I'm not crazy. Like, Raven is like, you just can't hear Raven, right? I'm not going nuts. Like, that sounds weird to everyone else, right? Like, okay, what I had to guess is, given the fact that they had to bring back all the actors, the voice actors from 2000, because like when, so again, Patty was added in the special edition PlayStation 3 version, but that didn't get a American release and an English dub until 2019, meaning that they had to get all the original voice actors from 2006. Did Raven's mic start fucking up during recording and they didn't have time to re-record? That's possible. The other thing, what I was getting at is that as I was saying, is so this game the original game was released in 2006, 2007 on the Xbox 360, and then this remake was released in 2019, meaning any new dialogue, any new English dialogue, I should say, that involved Patty, they had to get all the old voice actors back after 13 years, so
This is Agathor Forest.
maybe something happened. Like maybe they forgot to record that scene, so they just had someone else do a bad Raven impression and just played it so low you couldn't tell it was the wrong voice or something. Or it could have been exactly what you just said.
Whoa, really? I thought you liked being cooped up in cold, dark labs and stuff.
I wish I could have seen it in its original state.
That must be the Blastia the mystery group brought with them.
But that's a Hoplone Blastia.
What do you mean by mystery group?
We weren't able to get any details, but Tord said he'd tell us how to get to Myorzo if we did something about them.
Would doing something include smashing that thing?
Okay with that.
I suppose we could if there are no complaints.
I'll fix it so there's no need for you to break it.
Oh? I'll leave it to you then.
Are you gonna rest on the ship?
No, I'll go.
Again, so from what I remember because like Abby and I never beat the game, but we got like 80 to 90% through this. So I think we saw the end of Patty's story, and it was kind of dumb.
You'd expect to see more activity in this
But
place if anybody
if there
knew
is
there was
more
a town
to
there.
it
The
that
difficulty
I
of
didn't
the road
see,
might be
yeah.
responsible for that, though.
I will say I'm not the
Man,
biggest fan of
Why'd the
Patty's
Cretians have to
story. I
go
don't think
and
it's
build a
very
town in a place
interesting.
like this anyway?
Probably to avoid a lot of prying eyes.
We're just gonna have to check it out for ourselves to make sure then.
Okay. I will need to wrap up soon because we need to yeah, Abby and I we need to meet my parents in the next little bit because we're going to go to lunch since we've got a day off during the week. And ooh. Sorry, hold on. Let's see. Oh wait, it's Ghost Wolf is, but Lone Wolf Charge, Arcane. Is that one I actually want to use? I don't know. I don't think so. I think I prefer Dragon Swarm and Ghost Wolf as my just. Why can I not English right now?
The sign of victory!
But yeah. Because we need to go to Abby's work. Because she repainted this auditorium at her job. And we just need to go there and make sure that everything is cleaned up and out of the way. Then I gotta meet my parents, and then Abby has to go pick up a dating sim she pre-ordered. So, you know, let me see if there's something over here, and I think it might be best if I just back out and save on the overworld. No, for real. I'm actually, as much as this game does piss me off, I really do want to do the normal longer streams because despite my hiccups, despite my complaints with it, it is still a Tales game. So I do still enjoy a lot of the gameplay elements at their most fundamental level. Plus, much like with kind of realizing Tales of Graces wasn't that, well, great, it is kind of nice with me seeing good points about this game I never saw before. Plus, I also want to get through it so I can actually get to Sonic X Shadow Generations. And I'm also thinking I might kind of break from... Because, like, I had a planned... it was going to be, okay, I'll do a Tails game, then a Sonic game, then a Dragon Age game, then kind of just do that cycle for a while. But I might add, like, a fourth or fifth... because I realized I haven't played a Shantae game in a while. So I thought, oh, maybe I should... And I've been meaning to, so it's like, maybe I'll do it like, okay, Tails game, Sonic game, Dragon Age game, Shantae game, you know? But then I was also realizing that I actually had a number of games recommended to me because of the ridiculously over-sexualized female characters, or didn't just bad writing. Because some people, they saw me and Sunshine's like 45-minute talk about how we felt about women being sexualized in video games, and they're like, you should play some of these. We'd love to hear your thoughts on them. So I actually got a couple of them because they were cheap. So it's like, I do want to stream those as well, just to kind of give my thoughts on them. So I might add those to, like, the Shantae series and then games like that into the rotation as well. So yeah, we'll see. And again, I'm happy that I was able to get a good length stream out of this. Wasn't as long as I normally would because I woke up a little later, but you know, I'm going to take it. I've been getting better sleep, so I'm not going to be too upset about that. Abby and I do have every intention of doing an edgelord stream later tonight, and we are actually going to try to beat it. And if not, we'll beat it later this weekend. Like, Abby and I are determined to beat Crystal Chronicles this weekend. That way, so I can start up Digimon with edgelord. I like streaming the Tales games because they give me a lot to talk about, especially since finally saw the scene that just broke this game for me, and I was able to have my screaming rant about it. That's been building for 12 episodes. But yeah. So yeah, we're gonna try to do an edgelord stream later tonight. Yeah. So and then I'll probably stream this some more tomorrow morning as well. And then depending on how far we get in edgelord tonight, maybe I'll start Digimon on Sunday. Maybe it'll be more Crystal Chronicles. But as of right now, the current edgelord poll, I like story games. It gives me writing chops more to discuss. No, I agree. What's it called? The current edgelord poll we have is to determine which Digimon starter edgelord will pick for the Digimon Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, and we currently have a two-way tie between Betamon and Tentamon. So if you guys haven't voted yet, feel free to go and break that tie for us. Or heck, if you want to make it even worse, go vote for Gatsumon and make it a three-way tie. But yeah, I'm not sure when, but I'll see you all then. Have a good rest of your day, and maybe we'll see you later tonight. Bye-bye.